And we are live.
Welcome to another wonderful episode of California Sober Podcast. We are your hosts. I am Tumor Trey. He is Malignant Mo, and together we are Cancer.
Okay, and then we got today. You got one for him or what?
I don't.
Texted me you had one.
I did. I had one for us. You didn't know his name.
No, did I tell you?
I do that on purpose, though. Because
today we have a special guest, dude. David. I don't know if you want us to use your last name.
Let's just leave that out for right now. We'll
leave the last name out. Yeah. David O. Dude. David O. He is a photographer. He's into finance, art and stuff. He's recently been into a lot of car stuff lately, actually, right?
Yeah.
I've noticed he's been posting a lot of car stuff. And he's just a cool guy, man. I've known this guy for probably 2-ish years, I think.
Like 2-3 years, yeah.
Yeah, he came through to the gym, Spider Muay Thai. He was a friend of, I think I met you through Vince, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so, man.
Yep.
But I know a couple of people from Spider Muay Thai. Went to go see Spider Muay Thai fight recently. At San Pedro Battleship recently.
Yeah, I didn't get to go to that one. I wanted to, but I had work.
It was pretty hard, bro.
I know, dude. That looked like a cool venue. So they had this fight at in San Pedro. It was at this like old battleship. Is this battleship? Was it still running, or was it just like docked permanently?
Oh, it was docked, but I don't know if it's still out there. No.
Is it in Pedro, like by the red? What is that? The Red Cross little hospital boat they got right there and shit.
Oh, I didn't go, so I don't know.
Well, I don't. You know what? I'm not too familiar with Tampa. I know that.
Is it by the bridge?
Yeah, by the bridge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's by like all the fish stuff, right? The seafood market.
In Pedro.
Yeah. It's a cool spot. I don't think I've seen
it a lot, bro.
Yeah. Did you have any seafood or what?
Huh?
Did you have any seafood while you were out there?
You know what? Back in the past, I had seafood. Not this time.
Yeah. They're known for their seafood. That whole area.
Yeah. I went with Drew.
Actually. Yeah, I saw that. How'd you even meet Drew, bro? I didn't even know you guys knew each other.
Bro, I just actively try to meet people, man. Like, for instance, my friend Anthony from Garden Grove Muay Thai, like, bro, how the fuck do you know Evan? I've known Evan since I was a little kid, and he's all the way in the IE. But in the very beginning of my year, I try to like see where I want to go, and then I go to the same events every single fucking year. I meet a lot of people that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of events.
Anything, bro. Anything that is cool, like car events, fighting. Else.
Are you just like media at those events?
Sometimes. So I went to event by Ignite by Dan Bazarian.
Okay.
And sometimes I'm media. But here's the thing, man. Let me tell you this story. Before I was a photographer, like actually like in the nightclubs, I would just come to the nightclub with my camera, right? And then I would just try to get into these situations using my camera, right? So I
thought about doing that, bro. Just walking in with the camera,
like a nice one, like a Nikon, and they let you in.
It was a Sony, right? And then so I just would hold the camera up sometimes, and then they would let me into the table.
Sick.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
I see like a lot of like people that do media for fighters, at least. I don't know if this is the same for like everyone else, like other artists. But a lot of the times they just have like an iPhone out and it's on that rig with the light and all kind of similar to this. And I'm like, can I just get a rig, put a light, and then walk in acting like I'm pressed now?
Yo, I mean, Joe would do that with the GoPros.
Yeah, exactly.
Randomly, he'd have like the GoPro on the little stick and just be like, "Oh, I'm media," and have like the little like attachment if you want to put it on his chest, and they let him walk through.
I know, that's why I'm like, dude, because I don't have a fancy camera, and I'm like, can I just walk around with like just dress the same?
Oh, it's
like
possible,
all black,
man.
right?
It all depends on what fucking like where you're at. Like if like Rolling Loud, for instance, when we were working Rolling Loud in Miami, like you weren't getting fucking anywhere unless you had like this little diamond shaped like lanyard.
Yeah,
you weren't getting anywhere. So like all the fucking media dudes would have those, and they were able to get places.
Yeah. Huh.
Oh man.
Yeah, dude. So, anyways, David. So you're what are you up to lately, dude? I think you work in finance right now, or what do you do? Loans?
Man, I try to keep that stuff like separate from just like my personal life. I do post it, and I work at a law firm right now.
Okay.
Yeah, but my main thing has always been kind of media. When I was growing up, I was skater, graffiti, artist. I had a friend named Eric. Shows. That's how I became like aware of like how to like bring people together. Eric was fucking crazy. At 17, he threw his first show, and it was right near here, actually, right near La Wera, and it was in a indoor skate park. And we started a collective like right out of high school into college with our other friend JD. We collectively saved 10 grand. To a lot of people, 10 grand is not a lot. To fucking early 20-year-olds, it was definitely a lot. And we opened up a studio literally right next to here, across Venus. Like, Venus, the cafe Venus.
Like, want to say I've seen that shit for sure.
I don't know. Cafe Venus?
I think it's like one of the fucking Westminster ones.
Is it like a
coffee shop ones?
Asian
Yeah.
coffee shop?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's right across the street.
Got you.
So it's like 5 minutes away from here.
Okay.
And just imagine this, like, it was fucking 5 guys coming together to throw art shows, to fucking throw raves, throw freaking literally anything. Anything that you could think college guys would do, is exactly what we did during the time, bro.
Money well spent.
Lived your best life. Had a studio, a spot to take the hose back to and such.
Straight up, dude.
I digress. Yeah, man. But okay, tell me about you two, man. Like, how do you guys meet?
Dude. It's a long story. Not very long. We literally just grew up next to each other.
I mean, I met him in summer school in like 4th grade, 3rd grade, originally with one of my homeboys I grew up with, this kid Gary, and then randomly he
was he a graffiti artist?
No,
he's a square. He's a square, but he's a good guy.
I think he's a cop.
Dude,
now.
did Gary get married to Vanessa?
I don't fucking know, dude. He kind of fell off the face of the earth, kind of.
They both. I think they were dating, so I think they got married, bro. Which is pretty random.
Not really. It's Gary. He's a good Christian boy.
Yeah, so we met through Gary, dude. This guy, he's lactose intolerant.
Yeah.
That's all I remember.
That's the best way to describe Gary. He ate pizzas with no cheese.
Yeah, dude, it was
sauce only. Fucking weird.
Dude, when you're in elementary school, I never met anyone lactose intolerant, bro. So when I found out about it because we had a pizza party one day.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, your pizza, like, you don't like cheese? And he's like, nah, I can't eat cheese. Dude, I'm like, what? Like, how old are you in 4th grade? Like, fucking 11?
I was like 11 or 12 or something. I'd never seen that shit. He'd eat ketchup. Like, you'd order a side of ketchup and it'd come in the little, like, old paper McDonald's cup before the packets, and he'd neck like a whole thing of ketchup.
That was his cheese,
good for
bro.
Gary, bro.
Yeah. He was a savage. He
He's a
could
cool
wrestle
guy,
the fuck out of somebody, too.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. I like Gary.
Yeah, I met him. Then we met through Nick and Matt.
Yeah.
And we were all seen in emo.
Yeah, I used to be emo kids, and I would kick it with these emo kids I met in high school.
Yeah.
And like we met when we were in elementary school, but we didn't really chill like that.
Yeah.
But when I became like this little emo kid, his neighbor Nick was hardcore emo kid, and I used to go to his house every day. And so I started chilling with him. As we got older, me and him just started smoking weed together and doing all kinds of fun stuff,
Yeah.
We went down the bad route together, and then Nick and the other homeboy kind of didn't go down the bad route together.
Who, Nick or Matt?
Matt.
Oh yeah, Matt. He went semi down the bad route, but yeah, him and Nick, they were like, they did not do as bad as we did in life. You know? Matt kind of at the end of it, you got to catch it at some point in your life, bro.
Everybody's going to catch something, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking
That's
STD,
true,
DUI, fucking running with the law, some type of cool shit's going to happen.
Yeah. So then we met in high school. We became like the best of buds, dude. Started raving together and doing all kinds of fucking drugs together.
You lived with me for a long time.
Yeah. I lived with them for a while.
Yeah. Go to music festivals.
Oh, hell yeah, bro.
Yeah.
That's the tight thing about working him now is like I started out going to him, going to the NOS Center all the time. Back in the day, I was like on the other side of that fucking fence. Like,
especially as a hardcore kid, like all the moshes, like everybody facing each other, everybody getting ready to mosh.
I mean,
shit was fucking crazy, bro.
When I first started going, dubstep wasn't even a thing yet. It was a thing in England, but it hadn't dropped in the US yet.
It was a thing in England, bro.
It was like only like Caspa, Rusko, like the originals, like the OG. Yeah. So when we started raving, it was like drum and bass. Like Planet of the Drum and Bass was always at EDC with like Diesel Boy and shit.
House was the big thing back then, bro. When we started.
Dead Mouse.
Oh yeah, Dead Mouse was like a god, bro.
Benassi.
You guys remember Yoast Theater?
Oh yeah.
Yoast? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I haven't seen that shit forever.
Is this even still a thing?
I don't know.
It's nah, not really.
Is it? What is it now? Is it even just closed?
Venue? You know,
It's not like it didn't. It's the other one on Harbor, not the Yost, but
Galaxy
I know
Theater?
exactly which one you're talking about.
Talking about the Galaxy
one in
Theater?
Santa
is it
Ana.
Galaxy.
One in Santa Ana.
Yeah. The one.
Yeah.
That one's like
My
been the
roommate,
same.
It's
guys.
too way off, bro. Like it's too. Hey,
My
what's up, brother?
roommate
What's up, Niggy?
getting ready for work.
Bro, before back in the day, it was like Havoc Tuesday or Havoc Thursdays.
I remember
you'll see it.
Havoc. We used to always go to Hollywood in LA. Like fucking when Club Dance was a thing back when we were
Yeah.
kids, like the
yeah,
under
bro.
18.
Oh man, that club, dude. You
Fuck,
just
we went
brought
there
me
on a
back,
Tuesday
bro.
once. We discovered what Tiger Heat Tuesdays were, which
Oh,
was
yeah.
the fucking gay
The
night.
gays.
I remember discovering that, and I was just like,
But I've
What?
never heard of that. What is that? What is that?
so like Club Dance was like this stupid popular club in LA.
Yeah.
I think it
For
was
minors.
yeah.
Or
It was
what
like
the fuck?
it was
For
a
minors?
downtown. Yeah, it was
I've
like
heard of
no
that.
alcohol or
Bro,
anything.
my cousin told me of that shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
my cousin Leslie.
they
It was
didn't
sick,
sell,
bro.
They didn't sell any alcohol there at
No,
all.
none.
Yeah,
But
Gotta
it was
drink in
just
the
that's
parking lot.
dope. What the fuck?
it was dope until it wasn't.
Well, until you became an adult.
You know what I mean?
That's everything, bro.
I
That's
hit
literally
that-
everything.
Hit the certain age of like the clubbing scene, and like I'm over people like this. I'd rather just go to a massive for a week and then deal with it next week.
Dude, dance was big with the emos, dude.
Dance was big with the emos.
Big as fuck. Tiger Heat though, wasn't that at a different venue? That was at
It was at Arena.
a big ass. Is it called Arena?
Yeah, but
it was
Club
the-
Dance was at Arena.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
I don't remember. I thought it was.
Club
It just
Dance was
sectioned
like
off or something?
Fridays, and
Oh,
then Tiger.
wait. Was Arena the one that it was like 3 stories or something? Or 3?
I
Am I,
think it was-
am I conflating some other fucking venue?
I can't think of any threes. No, Avalon was 3.
Oh,
Avalon is three.
Avalon.
Yeah.
Avalon was tight, dude.
Avalon was
Yeah,
sick.
it was dope,
Yeah.
man.
Do you ever do the
Check house.
72-hour thing there
Nah.
from Friday
What
to
the fuck?
Sunday? Yeah.
72 hours?
There's a 72-hour thing. One of the guy that fucked with my legs and shit on my tats.
Yeah.
He's the one that plugged me in with it.
Yeah.
So it's Avalon starts Friday night.
Yeah.
You rage. It ends at 2. There's an after party. You go to that upstairs, and then supposedly there was a pool party in the morning. And then you go to the pool party and it leak into Saturday, and then by Sunday night you were going home.
I miss those
Fucking
days,
savage.
man. I
Yeah.
miss those days. You know, I didn't go to those, but I went to goth nights in Club Foreigners. I don't know if you guys heard of it.
Is it recently
It
or
was-
was it back in the day?
It was back in 2018. But it was dope, bro.
Where was it at?
It was in West Hollywood, and it was a whole bunch of goth. Not goth, bro, but man,
people are
baddies.
sick.
They can
Dude,
party, bro.
They can rage, and the synth vibes of
Yeah.
goth
Yeah.
music are
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love goth music.
And goth girls, bro, like
Like
Oh,
titty goth girls.
you say you don't goth girls, baby.
exactly.
Dude, did you ever meet Kitty, that goth chick from Westminster? Live in
No,
the same neighborhood as me, bro. She's like super
is that
big.
the one when you shit your pants?
Nah,
Okay.
no, that was Crystal.
Crystal?
Yeah. No, Kitty, she like kind of dated my homie Jonathan for a little bit, dude. But she's like super into the goth scene, so it's like it's funny because did you ever meet that chick I dated, Logan, the little white girl, like a few years ago, like Long Beach? Anyways, she's
in
like
prison.
Nah.
Because a couple years ago I was in prison.
I was like before COVID or during COVID, actually, the beginning of COVID. Anyway, so this chick, she's like a little punker, but she kicks it with the
Yeah.
goths. And she took me to this goth DJ's crib because he threw a little kickback. Everyone there knew Kitty, and we were like deep into LA. And it just was funny because they're like, "Oh, you follow my friend Kitty," because we add each other on
Yeah.
IG, you know? And I was like, "Damn, the goth community, tight.
I mean, they all got to talk to each other.
Not a lot of people. It's like the emo community, bro. It's not a lot of, you know,
I mean, is there even an emo community? Isn't everybody just old now?
how it was.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
how
true.
it was.
Like they all used to hang out in vans in freaking the block back in the day.
Yeah, but emos grew up to be like into rap now, I guess, or something. Feel
I
like-
mean, you know, they're like Suicide Boys is very popular.
Yeah,
I like the Suicide Boys. I just skipped the emo phase of
Yep.
music.
That wasn't your thing,
I don't
yeah?
fuck with it. I went from like rap to punk to just hardcore and like folk punk and shit.
yeah,
Some emo stuff's cool, like MCRs. You know, most of the shit I'd hear on like MTV back in the day,
yeah.
but like blast beats and shit like that.
Last beats is tight.
bro. Back in the day, I was a drummer for a hardcore band.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fuck yeah, dude.
That's tough,
yeah.
bro. Double fucking bass pedals and shit. Or double kick drum.
Fucking venues inside of
Chain
storage
reaction?
containers
bro,
and
we were
shit.
13. We were like
Alright.
13, 14, and there was just a local scene in like several warehouses. of a mind fuck. Like now that I'm thinking about it, because there was other fucking bands playing that were 13, 14. And some of them would come all the way from Riverside. There was COP. There was Badman. There was Rotten Fucks, which is they were kind of like crusties. Yeah. And it's kind of a mindfuck to think about it, because we had all this fucking freedom, and we had this little scene of fucking hardcore or punk rock music in the day.
Yeah.
Nobody would say shit, bro.
Yeah.
It's all like DIY shit too. So like you
Exactly,
break into
bro.
like some warehouse, or like someone's got a storage container, you can throw shit out like that.
Yeah.
Fucking wild.
In Santa Ana, there was a venue called The Clinic. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. The Clinic. It was the hardcore venue to go to back in the day. You heard of it, bro.
I never heard of it.
Where was it at?
It's in an industrial area in Santa Ana.
We went to Chain, was like the big one for me, because I used to.
Yeah.
My mom lives like right up the street from Chain. I could walk there.
That's dope.
Yeah, I drove by it yesterday. Actually, it's still around.
No,
It is,
yeah.
bro.
Because they're gonna close it down. I remember. I guess they didn't.
What is it? 200 Stab Wounds is playing there in like December or something. I want to go see them. They're
Yeah.
fucking heavy.
Chain was tight, dude. That shit nostalgic.
But back to nostalgia. Like, do you guys remember Party Line?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. That was before our time, though, B. Yeah.
Dude, the fucking party line, dude,
was
Fool's Gone
insane,
Wild.
bro.
Oh, yeah.
The
dude.
repost that they put, dude, the nostalgia that hits me when I see like the old party line ones they'll post. I'm like,
Yeah.
holy fuck, dude.
That was like chat rooms before chat rooms were a thing, dude.
Exactly, bro.
Bro, it was before you had to worry about getting molested, really.
Yeah. Well, that was,
That's what that time fucking was for sure.
Because people would find fucking.
You could meet
there.
somebody.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
That was like before Moco Space and all that shit. Remember? Yeah, exactly.
What was that one thing called Omegle? Right? Is that the
Omegle,
Omegle
yeah.
is still popular.
I
Omegle
know,
still
bro. I
cracks.
see the funniest shit on like fucking IG
Bro,
of
Omegle was
Omegle.
so fucking bad, bro.
That's how
It
that
was
one
so
dude,
fucking bad, bro.
Harry Mack got popular.
I don't know who
The
Harry Mack-
rapper.
I don't know who
So
that
he's
is.
like some white boy. He'd be on Omegle and he'd be like, "Oh, give me 3 words and I'll rap on them."
Sick. Oh, the guy that raps for like ever? Is it that guy or no?
Probably, yeah. He's
There's-
like one of the only, or either him or like Mac Lethal are like the only people really doing it big on Omegle.
Yeah. Omegle is tight, bro. But that's what I feel like the chat rooms were. That was like a precursor to fucking Omegle, you know?
Definitely
Omegle
was.
was so fucking bad, bro. So fucking bad. I would be there with 5 of my friends, just fucking.
Dicks.
Dicks. There was like a
Sometimes
like
you get
a
baddie.
5, dude. It'd be like Dicks, a dude in a wig with a
Yeah.
chick's voice.
Yes, sir.
That may or may not trick you, because some
Yeah.
of them are fucking decently looking.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Hard R's, like you would just the next
Oh,
dude, they
yeah.
would just be yelling hard R's at you, and you'd be like, all right, cool, go to the next one.
Exactly.
And then the one weirdo that would actually want to talk to you, you might actually make a friend.
Maybe.
And then the people that would murder you and do weird things to your body once you're dead.
But that was
That's
just
the
the
fifth.
internet
you-
back in the day, bro.
But
You did it for
Elon's
the
world?
hopes of that baddie, though, bro.
Yeah.
We all
Never.
wanted that baddie,
Never.
bro.
I know, yeah.
Never.
Sometimes you would get one, you
At
know?
that point, they had already been on to Chatterbait. Chatterbait had already popped off
Ah,
long before
dude.
OnlyFans was a thing.
Well, no, OnlyFans came on way later before. Omegle was like when we were like
OnlyFans
freshmen or
is new.
something, dude.
Yeah, but like, if you fucking look how long Chatterbait's been around,
I don't
long
remember.
fucking time.
I know Chatterbait's been around, but I don't think it was that popular until like I was like in college or something. Like,
Yeah.
Also, it looked like a scam, like during the time. Like I see it, and I'm like,
How am I going to be able to watch somebody? Like, you guys sound high. I'm using fucking AOL dial-up on my grandma's desktop computer.
"That's the shit, bro."
To fucking
Yeah.
take 30 minutes to load a 15-second porn clip.
yes, sir.
But you're going to tell me that I'm going to open this and some chick's going to be fucking right away doing stuff? Not at all. I didn't believe it.
Especially at that age, you're like fucking 10.
Yeah.
Like
11,
9 or
10,
10,
11,
yeah.
you're just like, life isn't real. And then DSL came out.
Yes, that was a shit, bro.
And DSL changed my life. Let me tell
I
you
remember
what.
stealing those CDs from Target, the AOL.
Yeah.
thingy, like-
Getting them in the mail.
Yeah, man.
I still don't get it.
Motherfuckers.
I don't get it. Like,
Yeah.
from that to today, like, how does the disc get you online?
I don't understand
What
it
the
either.
fuck?
You know what I mean? Like, you still have to, you'd have
That's
to
true,
plug in
bro.
your shit, and then
Yeah.
you'd put the disc in, and you'd be online.
Well, it's like the lines
That's
were
a
already
mindfuck for
there.
sure.
You just had to pay for the access, is what I think it was, you know?
I mean, not if you had them fucking discs, dog. Me and my grandma got them in the mail. Like, oh, it's like 2 months
Try
free
out,
trial,
yeah,
blah
yeah.
blah blah. I was like, that's fucking lit, dude.
Yeah. That proves that internet access is accessible for free. The fucking Jew government just doesn't want to give it to us.
What?
I mean,
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
lines are
probably,
there,
bro.
but dude, it's like you see.
There's free internet now, right? Like you go to the corner
Oh,
in like the ghettos.
do they?
I mean, I got
Yeah, they're
Spectrum. I have Spectrum. I have my phone line Spectrum, so I got the free like hotspots they place everywhere.
Yeah,
so
well,
like
it's not
I'll-
free. You pay for it, but
kind of on my
Yeah.
phone bill.
well, you see what happened with Elon Musk and like Ukraine, how he shut off their fucking
Starlinks,
Yeah,
bro. Fuck Starlinks.
it's pretty gnarly. He
Bro.
said this shit costs too much money. He's like, I need some money back, so he shut it off, dude.
Yeah,
So right now he's talking with the government to work out some type of payment system, you know.
yeah.
But he like gave it to him for free for a while, and he said, "Dude, this is costing us like almost like 50 to 100,000 every couple of weeks, bro." You know?
They're
You
like,
know that guy's story, right?
Huh?
That guy came from South Africa to Canada.
Oh yeah.
you know,
First thing he
his,
did-
and his dad, the wild story with his dad too, like the
Yeah.
whole background. His
Oh,
dad's
there's a
like,
Jeeper. Like, what is going? They're searching for someone.
Oh, my
Hey, bro.
bad. Sorry, guys.
That's-
They're
yeah.
fucking cops
I
gonna
gotta
come
go out there.
shut
You're
us
fucking
up.
the pod up. Get your stupid.
Yeah.
Dude, they're circling. Anaheim, baby.
if you go out the
Already know.
back, I've got a record, so you've got time. They'll be dealing with me for a minute.
Hold on, what'd you say your name was,
Yeah,
Mr.
what?
Burr? They're gonna
Sit down,
they're gonna whip out that color card, bro. Hold on, let me see.
bro. I got pulled over in Irvine like 4 months ago, and I sat on the curb for like an hour.
Dude, this guy's just driving in a circle right now.
What motherfuckers, bro? Like,
Yeah, dude. I haven't had anything new on my record since like 2019, but I got pulled over because it was Irvine, like South County area.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna sit you on the ground. We're gonna fucking see if you got any cool stuff in here.
Yeah, they've been getting pretty wild with their arrests lately. I just think I think right now because LA's pretty lenient with everything. I think Orange County, the fucking DA for Orange County is trying to really push to prosecute small crime, like petty crimes right now. So there's like an issue right now going on where people are coming from LA to Orange County and they're like robbing stores and like mugging people, you know?
really?
Yeah, so the DA put out a
It's
statement
fucking
like a few
crazy,
months
bro.
ago saying like we're gonna prosecute to the fullest extent, and he's like,
Yeah.
and if a judge doesn't want to do that, he's like, then I'm gonna make sure like the public knows that this judge is not doing his job, you know? So it's like because of LA County and Orange County is going like extra hard, you know?
Bro, Orange
Mm.
County has. What the? I think it's like
The highest arrest fucking rate.
no.
or,
So Riverside County has like a 99.5 conviction rate.
how do you think that is? Mexicans.
No,
They're all Mexicans. The judge is like guilty without even seeing the evidence. Yeah.
We have all
technic-
Mexicans.
it's technically just because of the plea deal you take.
Okay.
'Cause you still get convicted.
You think it's just a legit a legit plea deal, so people just take it, or what? Is that what you're saying?
No, they just dog you out tough in Riverside depending on whatever crime you're getting busted for.
All right.
So like say like okay, in this today's day and age, Prop 47 is in effect. Anything under an ounce, whether it be weed or stronger, is like misdemeanor.
Yeah, we were just talking about that.
Yeah. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna make sure you do like the 6 months probation. You know what I mean? You're gonna
Yeah.
have like something that comes with the guilty.
Oh yeah.
I had no idea that IE was ghetto until my ex-girlfriend was like, yeah, this place is ghetto. Like, there's fucking,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Well, I mean, if you know
Yeah.
like how old are you?
30.
30. All right.
Yeah.
So like when we were kids, it wasn't what it is today.
Yeah, I heard it
IE
used
was
to be
like
nice.
just starting to get shitty.
I heard it used to be nice. That was like a new suburb community, but I don't know. Once I grew up, that shit was fucking ass, bro.
Well,
Like, to me, it doesn't look like how ghetto should look like, you know?
no,
Does that make
not.
sense?
I'm used to like South Central.
Exactly,
I'm used to like
Inglewood.
concrete. I'm
Yeah.
not used to like being in like the high
Exactly,
desert
dude,
area or
yeah.
like that whole scene.
Yeah.
I mean, once I turned 18, I moved out to Desert Hot Springs.
Yeah.
And that's when I kind of understood what it. Oh, they just don't come outside until
Yeah,
nighttime.
people tell me like people have been threatened at stores, fucking death threats and shit. Your neighbor could
mean,
be a fucking
like when we were in high school was when like Moreno Valley started to get bad. But before that, Moreno Valley was like an older like community, a lot of like mobile home parks and shit like that.
Yeah.
But then
I feel like Moreno Valley is like a little Mexico, like a little TJ, bro.
maybe now.
Just now, dude.
I mean, so like originally, like when it got bad, it was like a lot of people from like Rollins moved out there because they were on parole and shit like that, and it was quiet out there. So all like Roland, like I think it was like 20s through like 40s. The people that talked to me, they went out there first. So then it became very dark out there, the real Moreno Valley. You know what I'm saying? And then like shortly after that, like everybody started moving out there. So that's when like Moreno Valley, Mead Valley, like Mission, like whatever Maine, like right when you get into downtown Riverside, that's all
Yeah.
shitty now, full of like homeless cats. Used to just not be like that. Motherfuckers moved out there because they had businesses and wanted to build houses. Like it was just nice land to build on.
Cheap.
Also, like the rent from Inglewood and Compton started to get too high because they were building up.
Oh
right
yeah,
there.
they were gentrifying everything, moving everybody out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, well, like there's a new stadium in Inglewood. It's nice, you know. It's a
Dude,
nice
SoFi.
place. Yeah, exactly.
Yo.
That's in Inglewood. I know that was in Inglewood.
That's where the Rams and the Chargers played.
I'm not a football person, so I don't.
Looks nice as fuck,
Dude,
bro.
when I worked Rolling Loud LA, like the festival was in like all like the parking lot area,
Yeah.
but we were up with like command and security and shit like that. We were like up in the suites.
Yeah.
Like, and that's where our office was. So I just mobbed around SoFi Stadium as far as I could until someone would be like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I'd be like, "Oh, I work with this. I'm trying to do that." And they're like, "Oh, you got to get out of here." Bet.
Yeah.
It's so big.
Yeah.
There's so much cool shit there, and it's like it looks nice.
Yeah.
It's fucking nice as shit, bro.
I'm
You
used
would
to like
never
Angel.
expect that.
Yeah, I'm used to like Angel Stadium. You know what I mean? Like old, been there forever. Like not the cleanest of shit, and that place was fucking immaculate. And they have that big ass fucking screen that wraps around.
Yeah,
That shit's lit.
You know what's coming up pretty soon?
coming up, dude.
Election year.
Yeah. How you feel about who you voting for, bro? David,
Bro,
tell
I'm
us.
fucking
Who you
mid as,
got?
I am mid as shit at like before I was, to be honest, leaning more towards the left back in like 2016 or what have you. But to be honest with you, this is my mindset. Like I just gotta fucking survive and thrive, whatever the president is. Because here's the thing, man.
I'm gonna close that door real quick. Sorry.
Boys,
They shooting.
Bad guys, Anaheim. Don't fuck up.
Active. Anacrime, center
Yeah.
of the known universe.
So, Quentin, you're leaning towards the left. So let me guess, you're a Biden supporter, or
no, not like 2016. That was when freaking
That was Trump and Hillary.
That was no. I would like Obama. Like Obama. Maybe I missed. Maybe I didn't see the right year, but while it was the Obama administration,
Yeah, that was his last. That was the end of his 8 years. So
I
like
think
the new
Obama-
upcomings were Hillary and Trump.
I think Obama was the last like real president, bro.
I think he was dope, bro. Like he looked cool. He talked to J. Cole. You know, he talked to all these cool people. He had Common play at the White House.
Or
Common the rapper.
Yeah, I don't know.
Activities.
You don't fuck with Common.
Activities.
He's dope, bro.
Well, no, I don't. Well, if you just look at like on like face value,
Yeah.
for a lot of people, like Obama was cool. He was quiet. He was
Yeah.
very, you know what I mean. He knew how to talk
Yeah.
to people. He knew
Yeah.
how to like address the nation. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Then you look into like all the shit he fucking put
Everyone-
into play during his administration.
Everyone does that though.
Yeah, but
He bombed some kids. It happens.
To be honest, I didn't know economics like until
yeah, no,
freaking-
exactly. Like
Yeah,
I didn't start
it was
learning
just-
about all this shit till like the past 2-3 years.
Exactly.
It's like holy fuck.
Yeah.
He was.
Because we're in our 30s now, you know. Like when I was in my 20s, I was just thinking about getting laid, bro. Like,
Oh yeah,
it's
dude.
all in
I
my
was,
head.
I was a full blown heroin addict, drug addict, criminal. Like I didn't give a
Yeah.
fuck
But you
about
can't argue
politics
that
because I
our-
couldn't vote anyway.
But you can't argue that our economy was
exactly,
in a
bro.
much better place back then, and maybe that didn't have anything to do with him.
Maybe
But
we were also just like not informed, you know.
yeah,
Like we were just out there trying to like hang pussy,
Do our
party.
thing.
Yeah,
I think Obama didn't do a bad job, and a lot of the times too, what happens with governing is it's not just up to the president. It's like we have the 3 branches of government, you know.
Yeah.
So it's not up to him.
people forget.
When I think of a good president, I think of what is a representation of America, you know, not necessarily what they can do for America, because like I said, it's not really. We think of the president as the one that's making our economy better, as the one that's creating jobs and stuff.
Yeah.
But the truth is, it's not just the president. It's like it's like a synergetic like situation between like government, private corporations, the other branches of government. You know. So when I think of a good president, I just need someone that speaks well, is educated, you know, and can speak to other leaders and tell them like what what America wants, you know, what how they feel, you know. I think Obama did those 3 things, you know. When you look into Trump, you look into Biden, I don't fucking think they can do that, bro. I see them walking into some other world leader, and like I can already imagine Trump just bullshitting, bro. Biden falling asleep while he's talking, you know.
Bro, have you guys seen that video of Trump meeting the North Korean guy?
Yeah,
Like,
dude.
it's like you're so
Rocket
thin.
Man? Rocket
You're
Man?
so
Oh,
thin. You ever
man.
seen that?
So
Dude,
You're so thin. His fucking face is priceless, dude.
I have no qualms with Trump. Like, he said some fucked up shit for sure.
yeah.
But, like, he was never designed to be a political figure
No way he was,
at
bro.
all. He's like a pure
Entertainer.
a
He's a pretty
businessman.
cool 80s guy, man.
Yo, like in the Home Alone days, when that whole era when he was young, like
WWE, he was in there fucking shaving heads and
yes,
shit.
I remember all that shit.
Yeah.
But what I'll always go back to and why he is one of my favorites is because we smoked that dude in Syria, or he left Syria or something. The general smoked his ass with the drone, and like within 2 minutes of him dying, giant American flag on his Twitter post, and that was it. He didn't say anything. There was no caption. It was just a big old American
I'm sure
flag.
he wanted to say shit, but
I
he
was
ready,
like,
bro.
lit,
He
dude.
was ready.
I'm sure
He
his
was
team
ready.
wanted. I'm sure he wanted to say something, but his team was like, "Nah, you can't do that."
He didn't need to say anything. He's like, we got him.
Was Trump around when that whole thing happened? What was it? Was it Lebanon, or what was that country that had like the slaves that they were selling, and then they decapitated the president, and they fucking pulled his body through like a city?
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah, there was this whole incident. I think it was Trump was around for that time. My whole point being though, it just was like his response to that was like, damn. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if you like want to talk president, like since the 90s, late 80s, every president's been cleaning up somebody else's mess.
That's how it always is though.
Like as much like I'm not a fan of Obama, but all he was doing was cleaning up Bush's mess.
100%. Yeah,
Like that's all it was. Bush was cleaning up fucking
Yeah.
Clinton's mess. Clinton was cleaning up Bush Senior's mess. Like I want to say like probably like whoever, I can't think of who was president before Kennedy, the one that got smoked in the famous Texas headless blah blah blah, that Kennedy.
Yeah.
Before then it was cool. Like you could probably pick a president, but since then like all we care about is fucking staying in a war.
Huh.
And fucking us somehow as the regular Americans.
Yeah.
Speaking of being American, if you can move any country, or would you?
Off top, I'm gonna say Canada, just because I'm a
Fuck
felon
that.
and I can't.
Canada's-
I'm a
he's fucking
felon and I
right, bro.
can't go
Yeah.
there.
I'm good with
They
that.
don't let felons in unless there's like, I think you have to apply for a special type of visa or something like that.
You bad boy, just fuck it. I live
Just
here.
to go, just to fucking like say like the zombie apocalypse breaks out tomorrow. Like
Oh,
I'm
the zombie apocalypse.
I'm sneaking
bro.
into
Yeah.
Canada for sure.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm not going to Mexico. I ain't going last. ain't
I would
going
say
last.
personally, I would either go to. I think I could be okay in Mexico because I have family, or Thailand seems pretty cool. You know.
Thailand seems
Thailand would be
fucking dope as
cool.
shit, bro.
Yeah.
The only thing that's wrong with Thailand is 80 boys.
That's all right though.
That's like one portion of Thailand, from what I understand.
Yeah, and it's like they're not like out here. You know how out here trans people try to hide it and stuff.
They do
They
not.
don't. They're super open about it, so I'm okay with that. And it's like, you know, as long as you tell me what's up, you know, I can fucking be cool with you, you know. But if you hide it, that's gonna be a problem, you know.
Dude, I've heard Thailand is fucking gnarly though. You ever-
I don't mind kicking with trans people and
That's
partying with
fine.
them, you know?
I don't give a shit about that. I'm
But then
talking
if I hit on
like
someone thinking that they're not trans, that might bother me. You know, I might be a little upset with you, and I'm like, "You still got your dick?" Yeah, I am.
I mean, but that's their bad. That's their bad.
Yeah.
There was that one chick that got like
Folks.
beat to death or something because it came out in the end and not in the beginning.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, are you talking about the
That's
dude that was in
fucking
the military
rude,
that
bro.
killed her? Or
Like,
what?
just, that's fucking
It's
rude.
rude.
Some people are into that.
Nah, I'm not
Hit
into
up
At
that.
the very core of it, it's just rude. You
Very
should
rude.
let somebody know that
Yeah,
because
let
you
it
know
out.
you're deceiving them.
So, hey, so
Exactly.
back to the question, David. So you said you were left before. So are you implying that now you're kind of leaning more to the right, or?
You know what? As the Trump administration continued, I was more right leaning, but that wasn't initially the case when he became president or what have you. Because I'm first generation, bro. Like the politics have it so Mexicans are seen as the enemy or what have you. If that wasn't the case, I think left Hispanics would lean more towards the right or what have you. Because we kind of have very similar philosophies in life.
Huh.
You know, because if you're a guy who drives a truck and you're doing construction, wherever you are, you have a very similar political view from another guy from another part of the country that has a different skin color than you that also drives a truck and is working class, trying to feed your kids and your wife and just trying to live on. thing about California is that it's really different. California was gained through U.S. courts. U.S. courts, the Sacramento family gained California through U.S. courts. I can't recall what year that was, but there's a book called California that entails all of that. And the person that wrote it was so scared of admitting the truth that he wrote it through an alias. Check all this out. That book, California. But California is different, man. We're a part of Mexico, and we will always have that in our history. Same with other parts of the rest of
Texas.
the world.
Well, yeah, California was Mexico for a while.
Yeah.
That's the other thing too is Mexico. I mean, California. It's a little bit different than a lot of these other states because we have that strong foundation from Mexico. You know, it's like California is predominantly. I don't know the numbers, but I'm pretty sure we're predominantly Hispanic and probably white. It's probably close to 50-50. You know,
and we're all the same, bro. Like working class person probably has the same philosophy from here to Italy to Africa to Asia. Really. Yeah.
Well, you know what's interesting is I don't know if you know this, but there's a lot of Vietnamese folks that are Republican, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of Hispanics that are conservative, but they just never voted Republican. They would always go for the liberals because the left they kind of like they do the fucking open the borders, the healthcare, all that shit. But if you really look at like Asians and Mexicans, and I'm only going to speak on those two because those are the only two races I know, you know?
And you're both Asian and Mexican.
Yeah. So those two races are actually very fucking conservative, bro.
Yeah.
So had the right, like the Republican Party had, if what their values were straight up just the Republican values and not this whole racial like diversification of the party, you know, I think they should be getting a lot of the Mexican and Asian votes because it's like the Asians and Mexicans, they're about big family, right? Yeah. They're all about community, you know, they want to stay together. It's really hard. Like you'll get the new generation of Hispanics that they do separate, you know, but like my mom's generation, that was never a thing. You would just be unhappy together, you know? Same thing with the Vietnamese community, you know? Yeah.
Same with I mean, I think that's probably only California too. Other Hispanics in other states are very like together.
Yeah, exactly.
And to add on to that point, just look at Reagan. Reagan is the president that brought in illegals. He made
Reagan?
the farmers.
Ronald
Reagan.
The GOAT. My guy.
Yeah.
Introduced crack cocaine to us.
Well,
my guy.
I'm not saying he was
Shout out Ronald Reagan for crack cocaine.
I'm not saying he was perfect. I'm not saying that he was perfect. You know,
dude, I could dive the fucking rabbit hole of Ronald Reagan.
That goes back to what I said earlier. Is like the right. It's like they've always kind of stigmatized the immigrants, right? But it's like the immigrants share the same values as you. So, and I think you're seeing a lot of Republicans notice this now, and so you're seeing a lot of Republicans kind of cater more towards like the immigrants and stuff, like because they see like okay, so the left they're beating us on a lot of fronts because they have the minority vote. And the minorities are growing, you know? The minorities like the shit we talk about. They just don't like when we talk shit about the Mexicans or the minorities. We stop talking shit about them and just like hang on our values. We're going to get the fucking, the votes for the Hispanics, the Asians, whatever. And that's the thing with Trump is Trump's first, when he was the president, he ran against the Hispanics. Remember how he used the border? Yeah. This time around, he's actually going for the Hispanic vote. I don't know if you've noticed like his speeches lately. He's been using like Jorge Masvidal, the UFC fighter, kind of like as a spokesperson. You know, it's very interesting because the way I see it is like you see the evolution of Trump becoming a political figure. You know,
his dynamic.
Yeah,
well, I don't know if it's from the charges, all that shit that had him changing his tone or what, but
that's what people change,
it's experience. Bro. I think he's learning how to play the game now. But then it's like what I brought up in a prior episode. It's like Trump's whole ideology of running the country has always been like, oh, drain the swamp, right? I'm different. I'm not like them, whatever. Yeah. But now he's speaking just like them, you know? So I feel like he's going to start alienating a lot of his voters to get new voters, I guess. Different voters. I don't know how that's going to work out for him, but I do see he's definitely leading the polls for the Republican Party, you know, and he's probably going to be the front runner. I think DeSantis is falling back. You got, what's that Indian guy, Rawani or whatever?
Who?
No idea.
There's just this Indian dude that's running. He's like super conservative. He's actually, I think him and DeSantis are like neck and neck right now.
Is he here from California?
I don't know where he's from, dude. He's just, he came from Big Pharma and stuff. He had like a pharmaceutical company and then now he's running for president.
Definitely don't want that guy.
But
Definitely don't want that guy.
It's funny though, because if you look at his personality, he looks like he should be running for the fucking Democratic Party. You know, dude, he raps and stuff like that. His favorite
Definitely don't want this guy.
Yeah, but
I'm at the age.
Okay, but if you had to choose one rapper to be the president, who would you
A rapper?
choose?
A rapper throughout all of rap history.
No, just current
rappers.
Not Drake, obviously. Sorry,
I would not.
fuck
Fuck Drake. He'd be a horrible president.
Yeah, he's too soft. He's Canadian anyway.
He's
so
not.
He's not even.
You're too much of a seducer.
Well, no,
Drake,
he's
I'm
just
sorry.
not.
Well, it could work out though.
He's an artist, but I mean, like, he's like, I would say somebody like Birdman. No, I'm just saying, like, if you want to think about it, you want to think of like somebody that's a CEO of whatever shit they're running, like Currency.
That's the whole Trump.
Dude, maybe Diddy.
Diddy might be good.
Diddy
might be a good one.
Diddy killed Pac.
Do you think so?
I don't know. I think so. Who knows? Or maybe he paid for him to get killed. Who knows?
No, I think Diddy killed Biggie.
That's the other question too.
We can crawl down these holes randomly at the end if you want.
That's why we got these helicopters floating.
They're listening. They're listening. They know too much.
I think for sure Diddy paid off to have Pac killed. Possibly, maybe even Biggie. I don't know why he would kill Biggie. But back to the question, who would I have as a fucking rapper to be the president, dude? That's a good one, dude.
Yeah.
Currently.
J. Cole. J. Cole would be a sick president.
He would be president.
Who's that one guy?
He would get voted.
Toby.
For sure.
Toby Naglawi. He's some Texas rapper.
I don't know who that is.
But he's like, came from the shit, got his life together. I could vibe with that.
I'm gonna go with J. Cole, bro. J. Cole was a good one.
Lil Wayne.
Or Benny the Butcher, bro.
Lil Wayne.
Imagine a world where Lil Wayne was president.
You know, Lil Wayne, I think would make a good president.
Biden 2024 is gonna be if Lil Wayne was president for sure.
Lil Wayne's actually pretty smart, bro. That fool has a degree in psychology. I think,
does.
He is smart, bro. He is smart.
If you watched, like, he's done a lot. Like, drugs have taken the effect.
I think that's also his personality, though. You know.
No.
No,
he doesn't know words to some of his songs anymore.
But he never writes them down or memorizes them though.
I don't give a fuck, dude.
He says that.
Okay, let me say this. All famous people, regardless of whether people think they're stupid or not, are smart in the aspect that they gain power through fame, through collaboration.
No, yeah, for sure. If this was Lil Wayne when I was in high school, like Fireman Lil Wayne, down. He can be president. Lil Wayne after. From that to now, with all the lean, all the extra shit,
true, though.
like, I'm good. I need a sound. He's got the button. My dog can push the button.
I'm gonna go with J. Cole, bro.
So yeah, you want to think of somebody that's very level-headed.
That's a good answer.
I'd go with Currency, but Currency's always been one of my favorite rappers ever.
I don't really know Currency that well. I just want an intelligent president, dude. So
he was in the Hot Boys with Lil Wayne and still has all of his mind.
I know who Currency is. I just don't like watch him speak or anything. I don't follow him on anything, so I don't know.
Doesn't do blow, doesn't do fucking hard drugs, just smokes bud, maybe does some mushrooms here and there. Like, he's not gonna push the button on a bad day.
Yeah.
Lil Wayne lean the fuck out. Fucking Lil Yachty, somebody, they might. Hey, yo, fuck them.
Definitely not Lil Yachty.
Not Lil Yachty.
No, definitely not.
Yachty.
I was just thinking of more Lil.
If you're listening to
I was
this,
thinking of more Lil names.
Hey!
What's up, bro? Hey,
Nikki, let's go to
I'm
work.
gonna take a piss, but let's come back and talk about girls. Yeah.
Ready for knock?
I'm gonna open up again.
Dude, I gotta fucking figure out if you can have I gotta figure out if your guest list is gonna fucking work for camping.
If it does, it's cool. I don't need to camp.
No, I mean, no, I'll get you in. That's what I'm saying. I just gotta figure out, because I'll get you into camping with me and we'll kick it, and then you can crash at the room with me.
Yeah. I could just sneak into camping. I think my homegirls did all that. I'll just go in with a bunch of girls.
You're not I mean, I don't know, dude. There's only one entrance.
How do you get an extra bed? Oh, I don't know. I thought y'all had to pay for a thing. Wait, so one person pays and then I didn't know that's how it was set up. I thought it was like the way they sell tickets. Like everyone has to, and then you can have your own. Yeah.
I'm gonna figure out who's doing what company's doing security and shit too. If it's
tripping on that.
Well, no, honestly, just give me like the end of the week or whatever. I go out there Monday, and I'll be in San Bernardino all week from Monday.
Just hit the.
Hey, bro, can I borrow the vape?
Yeah.
I do have
Open this. Bro, let's talk about economics for a little bit, but then let's talk about chicks because it has to do a little bit. I mean, yeah, please, dude.
The best way is you grip the top of your bottle, and then you put the corner of it in and pop. Yeah. You do the top? Oh, that's fine. Yeah. No, that's how you feel it,
bro. Oh, I appreciate you. Thanks.
Give me my fucking.
It's a souvenir, bro.
Now give me my vape. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm an asshole. Bro, I gotta figure out fucking how to use my finger to do it. Right behind you. More.
What's up with these ladies, David? You wanted to talk about some ladies? What's on your mind, dog?
All right, so let's just talk about economics for a little bit, and then segue to ladies or what have you.
Yeah, sure, let's run it, bro.
It's a little bit of game for the viewer or what have you. So, what is the first law of economics? What do you think of when you hear economics?
Money.
I don't know. I don't think I've been broke my whole life, so
money. That's what I think.
No drugs and make as much money as you can.
Supply and demand, right?
Got you. Okay.
A supply and demand where there is less of something that is. Hold on, let me try to find the words exactly.
No, I think I can help. It's like when a fucking shipment gets picked up at the border.
Yeah.
SoCal, because this has happened. I've been in the game. This has happened.
The borders.
Well, no, but so like say like a shipment of coke. Like everybody knows most of the drugs come from below, right? You pay $60 a gram for coke. All of a sudden, you see on the news, hey, this thing got stopped at the border. Blah blah blah. Like 150,000 kilos of coke gets stopped at the California border.
Yeah.
2 days later, your same connect is charging $150 a gram. Because he can't get his connect because his connect had a shipment that was coming in on that truck.
Exactly.
All right.
And then now leaning it back to
real life,
intersexual dynamics, whatever dating you, whatever you want to call it or what have you. So a little game for the people at home watching this. The best way to go about things is through economics, right? So where are guys more rare? Is a question that a guy should always ask himself. For example, there's statistics out there in regards to the ratio of females to males for guys. I mean, for
2023,
There's definitely a place. 2023, baby. You can say definitely a place for sure, bro.
All right, fuck it. Okay, so you're thinking about going to university, you can always look up those statistics.
Yeah, the 3-to-1, like UAZ and shit like that.
Exactly. So you're watching this at home. You want to have the best possible. If you want the best possible chance for yourself to find a girlfriend or whatever situation you're trying to find, I would look up those statistics, which are available on the line on the school websites themselves.
They have to have that information.
Yeah. Which is a trip, you know. You can always search that up, and then you can see. Okay, this school has 60% females, 40% males. Other one because ultimately we're just
fuck the education. Go for the bitches, bro. I like that, dude. You know what I think is the best way to get chicks, bro? Sell cocaine.
SWAT team's gonna come, bro.
They're coming back.
Bro, okay. I've never sold.
Bro, it's a fact, dude.
I've never sold any drugs. If the police is watching.
We're not implying this man.
I've never sold any drugs to anybody. But tell me more about your adventures.
Well, here's the thing, dude. Cocaine is that drug.
Hypothetical.
These are all hypothetical.
In the hypothetical world, bro, cocaine is just that drug where you can do it regularly. It's very rare you hear ODs, bro. Honestly, it's usually because it's cut with something. And females just seem to just like to do it. If you're the man with the cocaine, bitches will come kick it with you with the cocaine. Ironically speaking, though, you might get limp dick from the cocaine. So don't do it yourself when you're with the bitch.
Hilarious,
So it's kind of
it's really
double-edged sword.
It's really any hard drug.
Why do you think females like
cocaine, especially though,
dude? Heroin. People,
You don't want those girls though.
I know about those girls, and let me
You
tell
want
you,
those girls.
somebody strung out on heroin compared to somebody strung out on cocaine is gonna suck way more dicks than the person strung out on cocaine.
There's somebody at home watching this like this.
But the
They're
cocaine
just like
chicks-
ready to just like buy an ounce of fat. Like, I'm about to get in the game.
Hey, don't do the
Go
fat.
for it, dude.
Don't do the
Oh,
fat.
this is
We're not
kidding,
going that way.
buddy.
Fucking buy the
This is-
fat.
This is hypothetical.
These are all
audience.
hypotheticals.
Oh, this is hypothetically.
Yeah, but if you're thinking about it, hit the dark web, buy some cheap Chinese fat, and make your money, dog. This man doesn't support my ideas, and that's fine. I'm not a good person. We've talked about it in other episodes.
So I think we should just consolidate our ideas, bro. If you want some bitches, you're a lonely dude. Find a college with a higher ratio of females and go sell cocaine on campus. Bam,
So
there
I
you
see
go.
that, man. I have club promoter friends. You know, this is,
Oh yeah, I
back
bet
from
they
the
get
day.
all the pussy.
Yeah, bro. They're they probably make a little extra income from other business ventures or whatever it may be. Right. But what is it about that substance that makes females crazy?
Cocaine.
It's expensive. It's not that hardcore of a drug in terms of the high. And yeah, like I said, it's expensive. So if you're a female, you can do it regularly. If you like to drink, cocaine's a drug, to pair it with. And if you got a dude with cocaine, you don't got to pay that 60 to 80 a gram. You get it for free, and maybe a little dick suck in between, and you're good, bro.
All
So
right,
do you
there's
think it's
that
the
part.
brand?
That's the good part. But what
Yeah.
makes them crazy
Yeah.
is once you're sucking multiple dicks a day to support a couple gram a day habit, you probably have not slept a lot.
You probably got a drug problem.
No, that's what I'm
At that
getting at.
point.
That's what I'm getting at, stupid. Yes. You absolutely have a drug problem for sure.
I know,
But
I know it's train of thought, bro.
everybody starts the same way. Like, oh, Coke's cool. Coke's tight. You know what I mean? I'm
It's
happy.
the brand, right?
It's the brand for it. But then
Yeah.
what it does is it just keeps you up.
Lets you party harder.
Nobody's supposed to be up for 3 days. That's why when you see fucking old boy on beach and ball fucking talking to nobody, he's
High on
done so
cocaine.
much meth that he thinks there's imaginary people there now.
Oh yeah.
And he could have been like you a month before. All it takes is a fucking couple weeks of being up for more than 4 or 5 days at a time.
Sorry.
And you will absolutely lose all connection with reality.
Facts. All right, I'm gonna hit some current events real quick. We have a segment where we do current events because I got some good ones. We don't gotta hit them all, but check this out. Have you been paying attention to the whole war in Ukraine?
You know what?
I'm super
Yeah.
into war. I don't know why. I'm just fucked up like that.
Awesome.
Yeah. I love war. Don't get
We're
me wrong.
Americans,
I've read-
dog. That's why we love
Yeah.
war.
I think
Yeah,
it's
dog.
just the guy thing too. Like fucking
Destruction.
Fucking have been watching documentaries, History Channel.
World War
History
II,
Channel's
dog.
on World War II. You just spoke about it last podcast,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And it's fucking dope. Like something about it is like,
I think it's-
I have to sit down and watch this. This is super important.
I think it's also because we're Americans.
Very true.
We've been in like a 25-year proxy war at this point.
We've been probably longer. We've always been in a war, but check this out. So, I guess I'll explain it in case you don't know about it. But so this whole war with Ukraine, right? So
I've only
Russia
heard
was
rumors.
right. So Russia was fighting Ukraine, right? They were doing pretty bad. So they have a private military called the Wagner Group, right?
Yeah.
That was created by Putin, like under the table. He had one of his homies start it, right? And they're basically a private military. That's what they claim.
Yeah.
But really, they just carry out missions for Russia, just without the Russian flag, So they were basically created during the war in Iraq,
Yeah.
So you know how
Which one?
the recent one. So the Russians they were backing up the other
Not the
Muslim,
Bush, not the original one.
the ones that the America was fighting
Okay.
against. Yeah. So the terrorists. Well, I guess they're all terrorists in a sense. But anyways, so they created the Wagner Group, right, to help them with the war in Iraq.
Yeah.
After that, they went to like Africa. They've been doing all these private missions for Russia.
Yeah.
And the reason that Putin likes them is because they can do the things that the Russian military can't do. Because it's like against the UN. Like I'll give you an example. Like if they wanted to go take over like an oil refinery, and it was being protected by U.S. military. If Russian troops were to do that, that's an act of war. We're now at war with Russia. If the Wagner Group were to do it, right, with the blank flag,
Yeah.
they can't really blame Russia for it, even though Russia is the one giving them the finances to fund this war. Anyway, so Prigozhin was the leader of the Wagner Group. He was Putin's friend for a while. Then there's because of this war, they had this kind of like issue with each other, I guess, So Prigozhin's just basically saying the Russian military is like inadequate to fight. They're not doing their job, and this makes Putin look bad. So he marched to Russia with his troops. He killed like 2 Russian troops. to prove a point, right? And then Putin like basically annexed him from Russia. He said, if you stay out of Russia, then that's it. Well, like, I won't go after you.
It's documented?
Yeah, this is all documented. So he went over to Belarus, which is a neighbor of Russia, right?
Yeah.
And the Belarusian president was like, all right, well, Wagner will just work with the Belarusian military and everything's fine. I'll negotiate this deal. We're good.
Yeah.
Anyways, Prigozhin's been flying to Russia back and forth ever since this happened. This has been about a month ago, you know? He was. And just recently, last week, his plane got shot down. And they're saying it was either a missile or someone had planted a bomb. And it's just, everyone's pointing to Putin. They're saying it's probably because of him. He never forgets anything.
Yeah.
So,
also, we only know half the story all the time.
I think this is but I think this is pretty well known. Is this whole like Prigozhin thing?
So he marched on Moscow.
Yeah.
And he got to within a couple miles of the Capitol building within less than a day.
Yeah.
When
Putin fled.
Yeah, when those 2 Russian soldiers got
He got
killed.
scared. Putin got scared. He took
you
off.
only need a little bit of people in order to take over an entire country. For example, Cuba was taken over by 3 guys.
Yup. Yo.
But the Wagner Group is like they're better. The Wagner Group is better fit for war than the actual Russian military. So he takes the best of the Russian Secret Service agents and then he puts them in his Wagner Group. So if you look at this war with Ukraine, all the gains came from the Wagner Group. Like none of it came from the actual Russian state military.
All like the real victories and like overtaking of towns and shit like that.
So I think if it were to go to war between the Wagner and Russia, if there was no nukes involved, Wagner would probably win. Anyway, so he got shot down. That was a big ordeal, dude.
I mean, it's pretty cool.
Pretty cool,
It's pretty cool, dude.
I like to witness.
I don't know, man. I think we only know half the story pretty much all the time. You know, we're not spies here. You know, Russia, US, if you're listening to this, I am not a spy or what have you, but I'm pretty sure there are people that are knowledgeable. For example, like Snowden. You guys know Snowden,
yes,
right? The hacker guy?
Yeah.
NSA.
He's in Russia.
NSA.
He's in Russia right now.
No, he's in China. I think he's in China right now.
He's in China.
He started out in Russia. He either started out in China and went to Russia or the other way around.
I remember he was in Russia, but he could have fled to China.
Yeah.
Because both of them are down for like quote unquote free speech.
Yeah.
Not really. They just don't want to extradite him because they would rather him work for them.
Well, but like, so when he first got moved, when he was first moving around, he was going to places quote unquote that had great aspects of free speech. Like, dog, you're in China.
Yeah.
Like, there's no aspect of free speech. You're just dogging out America and they're down for it.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Like,
yeah, that's cool.
Do what you got to do to survive, player. But when it comes to like this whole like Russia, like you're talking about, we know half the story.
Yeah.
It might be even like less than that because we're such long lasting quote unquote enemies with Russia when you get into like the government aspect of it that propaganda, all that cool shit comes into play with it. Like they thought Putin had fucking cancer at one point. He may or may not still have cancer or have cancer, but COVID was cracking.
Yeah.
And he's a germaphobe apparently. So shit came out about him masked up, having his peoples like 60 feet away from him at a table while they have a meeting.
Yeah.
So like, oh, Putin's going crazy.
Russia has always had a crazy history, man.
Always.
And I mean, I know a couple of Russian people. Shout out to you guys. You know, you guys are dope. There's probably some 18-year-old fighter coming up watching this right now. I'm directly to him. Like, shout out to you, bro, for living through all that.
They probably don't allow Americans.
I'm thinking my friend that's probably going to watch this.
Okay, yeah.
He's the little homie. He owns an OnlyFans fucking agency.
Okay. Sick.
Like, what a fucking crazy bastard.
Sounds like a fun job, yeah.
What does he do? Does he have models or does he have the space for him?
He has the models.
Okay.
He has the models.
That's like becoming a very popular thing too.
Yeah.
There's both aspects of it where you can have the spot for them to film.
Yeah.
Or you have the agency for it.
Because marketing is hard, man. Marketing is really hard. You have to compete with a whole bunch of girls that want to do exactly the same thing.
And they stand out.
You know, exactly. You know, porn is free.
Porn is free.
Porn is free. Who's gonna pay $3 to see your nudes?
Mr. Beast. Excuse me. I'm sorry.
Does he pay?
You could look it up. Mr. Beast is now the top
Air of OnlyFans.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, Jimmy's a little freak, bro.
it was blown up on Insta, like puberty and like a bunch of other like major things shared
But
it.
he's fucking rich. What the fuck?
So he's got the capabilities to do it.
Yeah.
There was that one bitch, the like Yum Yum, the emoji chick.
Oh, crazy right now too.
Bro,
You seen that video?
Timbaland.
Yeah.
Timbaland, the producer, was her biggest contributor.
That's fucking crazy, bro. You have all this money. You can just go and fucking
Give somebody it. That's basically what it is.
That's literally what he does, though. OnlyFans is the perfect.
No,
place
is
for him.
that a tax write off? You're in the financial game at all with gifting or making a donation?
Dude, there's some bankers that literally have that in their salary. That is an absolutely true thing. I'm not going to speak on specifically which bankers have it, but I've heard it from some of my bosses.
It's like an allotment, right?
Exactly.
To help counter out their taxes at the end of the year.
Friends with very, very closely, and they told me that the CEO was getting all these Russian girls buying yachts, and people in the company would be able to go and experience that or what have you. So it's not that, bro. It's not a lie. Bankers are actually experiencing what you think they're experiencing.
The life.
And it's a tax write off.
Yeah.
Possibly.
But I digress.
Possibly, yes. That's neither yes or no.
No.
But
this is hypothetical.
I'm just going off of
This podcast is not based off facts.
This is not out there. This is all
for education. I mean, this is for entertainment purposes.
Yeah, no, yeah. This is all based on me questions out of my dumbass head, so nothing is true. But the only reason I even ask it is
everything
because
that I said.
Yeah, no, he doesn't know shit at all. He only, he doesn't. Yeah. But
if you've been watching this, you know the vibes.
The reason I asked is because like that whole when the tax came out for Zelle and shit like that, when like, they're gonna start.
They regressed on that though.
But it was the cut around it was say it's a gift.
Yeah, but even a gift though, you have to still pay taxes on gifts.
But it's also a tax. What I'm saying, I'm not focusing on that. It's the back end of it. It's the tax write off in the end.
Isn't that advice? By the way, it's just for entertainment purposes.
I'm just asking questions to figure out where my mind goes in places like that.
Yeah. So check this out.
Good for lawyers. Good for lawyers and being smart.
Let me just change the subject real quick because I want to talk about this one, bro. McFlurry machines. How many times have y'all been to the fucking McDonald's and there's no McFlurry?
How is this current event?
Because I just found out about this.
You're talking about they don't clean them?
I fixed it. Did a
segment
segment
on this. Do they not clean them?
That's what.
So how many times have you tried to get a McFlurry, right? And they said it's broken, right? The machine?
You know what? That's only happened to me once.
Really?
Yeah.
Like,
how many times has that happened to you?
Less than a dozen.
Okay, I like McFlurry, so I'll order them a lot, dude.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times they tell me it's broken. Same thing with the ice cream machine. Apparently, so have you guys heard of iFixit?
The company.
Yeah, they
that makes the iPhones.
They tear down iPhones, Androids.
They had the one where GoToLand used to be in that strip mall. They put one.
So iFixit took apart a McFlurry machine just recently because they just wanted to know what keeps breaking. Smart. Turns out the ice cream machine isn't even a complicated piece of machinery. They said this technology has been around since 1978, has not changed. We have it down pretty well. What keeps breaking is the software. So he says something will happen with the software to where it won't put out the fucking the ice cream that you need, and then they have to call the company to come, and they just reset it, right? So they're basically saying if in order to have the company come reset it, it's $500 an hour, and all they do is hook up a machine, right? And then they just reset it at the computer. This company,
that's pretty dope.
Yo, I wish I would have came up with that company.
Right. So the software is you can't buy the software; it belongs to the company. It's so. A lot of McDonald's will usually just be like, we don't need to fix it right now. We'll fix it later.
When we can afford it or whatever. Exactly. When we got time.
Or when we feel like paying for it, right? So that is why the fucking McFlurry machines are broken. And that is why we all as a community, as a country, as a people need to support Right to Repair Acts. So that software is not supposed to be locked down hardware.
Yeah. Is that what it's called? Right to Repair?
The Right to Repair is an act. It's a bill that's been around for the last 5 years. So it started because of these three groups that started it, right? So anti-John Deere company started it.
You said anti-John Deere?
Yeah, so John Deere, their fucking machinery, it's software locked. If you were to change a tire on a John Deere tractor, it wouldn't work until you hook up this computer to tell you changed the tire.
I didn't know it went that deep.
And there's a lot of little ways like that. A book that you can read just to understand where you can find little holes, where you can find places, little places like that to make a lot of money are these two books. One is called Basic Economics by Thomas Sowell. And the second one is Disrupts You, which is by an ex-CEO of Sony. So it just explains how the distribution chain works. So if you read those two books combined, you can find these.
Is that how people are finding like the ins to fix iPhones and not be a part of Apple? Like, is that like for a general overview?
I think he's talking about something else.
You can definitely find spots like that. Yeah, like for
But
example.
is that like what I'm saying? Would you, from reading those books, like that's where those same people would get the idea of like, oh, I can do this to change the screen on an iPhone and not have to be an Apple partner and it'll still work.
Well, exactly, and it goes into that exact detail.
Oh,
that
really?
Exact detail, yeah.
Well, dude, even just changing the screen. So, like, I just had my phone replaced, bro. Like, I've
That's
iPhone
why I
13.
said it because you told me
$60
about the
right there,
screen.
right? $60.
Nah, well, it was covered. I have Apple Care Plus.
I like your background, by the way. Pikachu.
Oh yeah, bro.
Pikachu in space.
with the glasses
That's
on.
bro. There you go.
Anyways, so what happened was I updated my phone to iOS 16.7, I believe, last week, right? And Apple hardware locks all, or software locks all their hardware, right? So your camera has a serial number, right? Your battery has a serial number. It has to match what Apple says it is to your actual motherboard. You know, if it doesn't, it won't work properly, right? And they do this to basically disrupt like private repairs, right? If you were to, even if I were to take my camera module and put it in Trey's other iPhone, this is a legit Apple camera, right? Because the serial number is different, it wouldn't work right.
Yeah.
Because of the update, every a few updates, they'll basically make an update that checks if your shit is like matching, and if it doesn't match, they'll make it stop working. The problem though is all my shit's legit. I've never had my phone repaired, but that update like thought that my serial number didn't match, so a bunch of shit stopped working, right? All of that is because Apple doesn't want to allow third parties to repair iPhones. And so it's like a cat and mouse game where they're constantly coming out with updates that search for third party parts. It's fucked up because it brings the question like, who owns this iPhone? The mine or theirs? Because if it's mine, I should be able to put any fucking camera module I want, right?
If it wasn't running on like, I don't know, I feel like because of like iCloud being, or just what Apple is, like not, Android's down for like when rooting became a popular thing with Android phones, like jailbreak for that's like jailbreaking for
huge,
iPhones.
bro,
yeah. Like Android and like embraced it and was like, do whatever the fuck you want with the processing system.
That's pretty fucking cool, bro.
Yeah, like they wouldn't void any of your stuff if you rooted the phone on an Android. That might have changed since I've switched to iPhone, but the whole time I was with Android, like rooting was a possibility and like making it better. To whereas like I think that's why they developed the serial number for system for these things, because if you turned your phone on and had that weird Apple with the like cutout in it, and you had that, what was it? Started with the C. Like
Apple?
No, Sensius or something, App Store. Like basically the jailbroken App Store. I think that's why they developed that serial number system.
They just do it because they don't want you to be able to replace anything without going through Apple.
Well, not to go into conspiracy theories, but
let's
Apple
do it, dog. You're on the podcast for it.
It's a really interesting company. For example, the very first computer to come out for Apple, you know what their price point was?
No.
666.
Shut the fuck up.
You can check this. You can verify this.
I'm doing it right now.
Your jobs, baby.
Yeah. And what's the logo?
Apple.
Yeah. What's
Eve?
Exactly. That's the very first. That's what's in the public sentiment at all times, subconsciously. There are the foundation of our society is built on.
Catholicism.
Yeah, exactly. So it's
Apple.
Yo, it is $666.66.
Well, the Apple isn't representative of the apple of wisdom or something, right? The truth that Adam and Eve weren't supposed to see, right?
The wisdom of good and evil, and then once they bit that, once they got the knowledge of good and evil, they saw that they were naked.
Yeah, they were the first humans with choice. It wasn't what God wanted. It was what they wanted to do. Quote unquote, the devil comes into play, the snake, whatever you want to call it.
Boy.
But fucking down for that conspiracy.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy, right?
There's like an old interview with like Bob Dylan. I want to say it's Bob Dylan or like that same time frame, like the 70s.
Yeah.
And like the interviewers asked him, like, did you ever think you'd become famous, this, that, and the other? And he's like, well, you know, it's something I've always wanted, this, that, and the other. And then I just had to, you know, make a deal.
Yeah.
And it's like a 3-minute interview of him like implying that like you can sell your soul to the devil and you can make it.
I think it's more of a mind game, right? So like if you think you deserve something, you go and act on it. And if you think you have to go ahead and sell a certain something to a certain entity in order to deserve it in your mind, then you do that. Which is why I have protected by God like added on me, you know, because
you know
I want you know if ultimately there is heaven and hell, and if any of the 3 books. Whether it's Christian, Jewish, or Muslim, are correct and hell exists, then I'm going to heaven. I choose heaven.
Have a great time in hell, bro. Let's go.
I got the devil's cross right here, so I'm chilling.
Yeah, we don't believe in that stuff here.
We
It's
don't
all good
do that at all.
I'd be wrong. I don't know.
There is the other wild conspiracy.
It's a wild bet, bro. It's the fucking wildest bet. You'll spend so much time on it.
You know what Gnostics are? The Gnostic religion?
Like from the 60s?
No, far before. Like
I know
hundreds and hundreds of. I don't know exactly when, but essentially Gnostics were dual. You believe in more than one God. That's where like agnostic came from what I understand. The idea of there being something else out there besides what Christians say is God. Yeah. The Gnostic people were almost like old Ireland, where they believed in multiple deities.
Yeah.
But they also believed in the idea of Christianity too, so they followed both. And they were like basically doing like the Uyghurs with China. They just kind of got genocide on them. Like, you can go ahead and leave. I'm not saying it again. We got it once.
What was that?
Huh? The
Uyghurs.
Uyghurs.
We were talking about chicks, I think. Right?
No, originally, yes, for sure.
We'll go back to that.
We'll get there. This is this podcast.
It's like we're focusing this time, man.
Yeah. But so like, and like the Gnostic people, one of the other gods they believed in besides whatever Jesus Christ was.
I love you,
like,
man.
do you know who H.P. Lovecraft is? The novel, like the author.
I don't.
He's like a dark fantasy author. Like, you know who Cthulhu is?
Yeah, bro.
He's like famous in Hispanic culture. I don't know exactly why. Yeah, Cthulhu.
I don't know who that guy is.
He's got all the tentacles for the face. He looks like a squid.
Yeah.
He's giant. He was like created by H.P. Lovecraft.
Are you sure though? I thought that was I think before. Wait,
Cthulhu's from like one of his old ass stories.
I'll be right back, bro.
Let's
get into the subject.
When you come back, it's a reset.
I thought Cthulhu was before that though, because
probably is, but I'm saying he pulled like certain things from it. In that, the Gnostic people believed we're all an imagination.
Yeah,
like that's what this universe is. There's a extremely powerful God that's asleep at all times, and if this God wakes up, we blink out of existence, and it's like the laughing idiot or something is what they call it.
Yeah, we've spoken about it.
Yeah,
actually, you know, I feel like we circle back to a lot of religious stuff, dude.
It's just fucking gotta talk about it. Gotta dissect it.
So what's up with you, Trey? How's life been, man?
Fucking dog shit.
Yeah.
But we're surviving. That's what matters.
A certain someone has been following our pod, bro.
Lots of people. I've followed a couple people. Yes, there is a certain someone.
You know something about that, right? I don't want to say the name.
No, yeah. I sent her I've just been sending the clip out to like random people. Like, yo, send this to all your friends and see what they say about it.
Want to hop on, Diggy? I was about to say, you can just record it on your phone, on your microphone, no video, but we can have your audio.
No, but I've just like the therapist approval of the Hitler fucking movie. Like, everybody's down for this movie. Everybody wants it to be made.
I think this is good. You're doing the social media and I do everything else. It's too much for me. You know, are you good with like coming up with the descriptions and stuff?
I don't know what that is.
Like when you know how the videos have titles and like
files. Oh, I can do that.
Use ChatGPT to do that for you.
I probably could.
Is it open right now?
It's open, yeah.
Okay.
It's open.
I know it was closed at one point.
Was it?
Yeah. Whenever like the newest update came out, that's when they had reopened everything.
That update is dope because you can feed it PDFs. Before, I fucking hired somebody from Pakistan to feed it.
You can
PDFs
add.
format.
Wait, do you have to? So I've never used Chat GPT personally,
Yeah.
but like the CTO, his company,
Yeah,
I'll go over there to like have to handle shit.
yeah,
And one of the texts there is using like Chat GPT to find like hexagonal coding for Viper or Cobra, like the different whoever, and it just
Yeah,
spits it
Python.
out. Is
Python.
Viper?
Python.
Python, that's what it is. Yeah, Python.
Python writing. Yeah,
But he'll just like go to Google and like copy and paste and then add it into like, oh, send message. It looks like adding that. So can you attach a file to it now?
can
Like attach the PDF or you just copy
attach the PDF now before you have to go to complicated API. An API allows you to connect into a website if they have a channel to connect into their code, and then connect your own code to it so you can command it yourself. So I hired a Pakistani wizard
Yeah.
to
Basically.
fucking feed PDFs to, so I can search up a couple of questions that I had in regards to law. Because the thing about law is that it's so codified in a huge amount of words, and there's a type of language called legalese that it's hard for the layman to understand it.
It's one thing. It's literally one. I'm a convict,
dude.
so I'm the opposite side of where you were, but it's I
Yeah, so
kind
you
of
have
know
to,
what you're understanding. Yes.
You have to search for the codified law, the 15 USC 1601.
And that's all.
whatever.
It's very important for that lawyer to be saying in that case, because if he says 0.1 and it's 0.2 and it goes on any further, that's a trial. It's like, what is it, mistrial or something like that, because he fucked up what he was saying. Like that's how like detailed it'll get at times.
It is. And not even the judges know all the laws. You actually have to go ahead and show the judge, hey, this law codified that this person did so and so or what have you. And there's a whole rabbit hole of law that we can get into. But let's go back on topic, right?
Yeah.
So we were talking about the history. Yeah, we were talking about bitches.
No, but this is what we're talking about right now. Is pretty sick. I want to get into this.
All right. So there is there are historical records of there being two gods that are fighting each other, that take form in different forms all throughout different civilizations.
Yes.
That are represented by the eagle and the snake.
Yes.
They played different characters in each civilization. For example, the snake was the personification of evil in Christianity. But if you go to the Aztec Empire, snake is or a snake or dragon, whatever it may be.
Yes, yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Is the god that is of change, and the eagle was the war god.
Yes.
So it's very confusing to get all in. It's very confusing to get into the history of all of this, because there's people that get so into this that they have switched history to mean a certain different meaning, and have shifted history and human movements from point A to point B.
Yeah, it's somebody who wants to apply it to their own imagination in a way, rather than.
That's how religion's supposed to be, though.
Kind of
very loose, because they want you to be able. They want everyone to be able to find parts of it to apply to their life. You know, that's what I don't like about it.
Not necessarily, dude. Like Catholics were not that way. Like it was what the Bible said, and that was it.
Back in the day.
Well,
Also,
no, yeah.
The thing, like the Quran is crazy. Like, the Quran is built, it's structured in like a mathematical way.
Oh yeah, I feel like the older you get, the more specific the religion gets. The more like these are absolutes, you know.
Yeah.
As times change, I feel like the Bible has to change because morality changes. And then this is what I think was stupid about religion. Why I think religion is stupid. No offense to you believers and all that. Obviously, religion will change, right? The only thing is, like, Islam is one of the only religions that really hasn't changed much, right?
Yeah.
But every other religion has had different variations of it, right? As time continues, it's like there'll be new books, new words of God, and all that bullshit, right? And the reason I think it is because, like, the religion realizes that people don't believe in these beliefs anymore in terms of social behaviors, you know?
Yeah.
So they have to update their religion, or otherwise people are going to hop off. They're like, I don't believe in these values, you know? That's why I don't believe in religion, because it's like, if this is the word of God, it's either absolute, or if he's changing his mind on things and changing with the times, then
It's a false prophet.
does the book even matter? Because who cares? Like, what we believe in now, 300 years from now, might be something different, you know? So do you want to follow a God that is constantly changing his mind?
Yeah.
I don't know, dude.
What if it's Satan,
I mean, Satan's the one that's...
Satan's
the one that's changing it?
But it's not though, because, okay, so like the Catholic Bible, right?
Yeah.
There was a time where being gay was like frowned upon, right? But now the Vatican is accepting of gays, right?
Yeah.
Kind of.
More than before, you know? And then even in the Christianity, bro, there was a time where there was no female fucking high-ranking church officials, right?
Yeah.
Now you're starting to see female church officials in the Christian Bible, like pastors and things like that, you know?
Yeah.
So religion like changes, and that's why I don't believe in it, because humans change, our morality changes, our views on life change. And obviously, if the Bible changes, that means it's changing because we are the ones writing it, you know?
I think the ancients absolutely observed a way that humans behave that was better for the outcome of humanity opposed to another. For example, there was a Hungarian communist leader that switched the verbiage of certain words and confused people in their most basic level, and that had crazy outcomes. Humanity. That's one example. However, there are actual books passed down from one generation to another, from revolutionary to revolutionary. Absolutely true that these books are passed down, and it's kind of the manual as to how to go about to change the nature of humanity, which is encrypted genetically from one polarity to another.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah.
For sure, dude. Yeah. Oh, even look at Martin Luther, bro. Like, prior to when Martin Luther was around, I'm not talking about King Jr., I'm talking about the friar Martin Luther.
Yeah.
Religion was very, like, you do what we say or you're punished, right?
Yeah.
Martin Luther was the first priest to try to be like, love thy neighbor, treat everyone with respect. And it's because, like, the human society had started shifting, right? It went to it prior to him. If you were in the church, you were seen as like a king, right? And so it's like they had that whole chip on their shoulder, like, we are absolute, we are the best, right?
Yeah.
Martin Luther grew up poor, and then he became a friar, right? And then he became a pastor from that. And so his life experiences allowed him to make changes to the Bible he believed in, right? And that's the our modern version of the Bible, the King James Version, came from Martin Luther's beliefs of, you know, instead of God being ultimate and vengeful, to him being kind, because he wants humans to be kind and respected, right? So he was actually the first one to allow, like, females to be in the church. He was the first one to say, like, back then, like, if you were any type of religious official was seen higher than any other societal figure, right?
Yeah.
So if you were a maid, but you were a maid for the church, you were higher up than doctors because you cleaned the church for God, right? He was the one that was like, no, we're equal. Everyone is equal in God's eyes, you know? If you make a mistake, that's okay, you know? God understands you're going to make a mistake. And my point being is there could be a future where there's another enlightenment period where you have another Martin Luther, where something else shifts, right? Whether it's the trans community or whatever, the gays, or allowing women pastors, you know? So that's the reason why I feel like religion is flawed in a sense, because it's like, it's either we have a God that's shifting his beliefs, which could be true, you know? But then if that's true, that means he has a belief that could be wrong, you know? And we just have to follow it, or it's just humans that are creating this belief, you know, or humans that create our own destiny. And in which case, why do we need a God, you know?
I mean, there's that, and it's also just the aspect of, like, humanity as a whole. You've got people like you and I who don't feel like, religion. I don't feel like religion is anything. I feel like we are a genetic playground, and somebody planted us here. That's my personal
What's the
belief.
zeros, baby? That's what I believe in.
That's one. Then you have the believer, who is somebody that follows whatever religion they choose to follow, whether it be Christianity, Islam, Jewish, Buddhist, whatever the fuck, where you just like the idea of it and you believe in those things. You're not crusading to your neighbor who's a Muslim and murdering him because of your beliefs. You're just somebody who's like, oh, there's 4 actually. All right, I'm gonna do them all. You're that person. You like it. You're not following it too much. Then you've got regular ass religious people. For instance, Christians. You go to church every Sunday. You go to the cookouts. Go to Bible study and the holidays. you're a Christian family as far as everybody sees. But you're not reading the Bible at home, really. You're just doing the steps.
Yeah.
Then you've got people
Part of the community, but you're not an actual believer.
Then you've got Westboro Baptist Church level,
the other spectrum,
or like jihadist level, like religious people, where like Sumerians aren't real. The Sumerian civilization is not real because it's before Christ. You know what I mean? Like,
before, I don't know if it came before Christ.
It did. It was, dude, Sumerians like thousands of years old. It was before the cataclysmic event 12,000 years ago, if you believe that, and all the other shit that went along with it. But like, that's just the levels of like religion to it. And for some people, it's very good. But as I feel the world's been since the beginning of our natural brain that we have it now, you've got people that just aren't designed to get told what to do because they're going to do it to the fullest of extent. And that's where you get like the Westboro Baptist Church, where they're outside of abortion clinics telling people this. They're outside of military funeral. Well, like military funeral, like whether you're gay or not, like they oppose the war. So they're outside of military funerals protesting.
Yeah.
Like those same people should not just be included in religion.
Well, they're not the same.
Yeah, but that's just my belief on it. It's religion's needed. Whether you like, whether anybody likes to believe it or not, religion is needed for the gross population. It's
good for creating a foundation on how humans should act, you know?
Well, yeah, the whole golden rule of like treat others how you want to be treated or how whatever fuck your thing says it should be. Like that's to make a good humanity.
Also, there's a huge, for the person watching this at home, there's a huge proportion of the conversation that is missing because, again, history is written backwards, and there was a lot that happened between that point with what was his name, Martin
Luther,
Martin Luther, and Constantine the Great.
Yes,
there was a lot of things that happened between that point, a lot of things that were rewritten, and a lot of avenues that were taken opposed to another avenue, which has led us to this current day.
Yeah, and lost.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the Library of Alexandria getting burned down.
Translations will change a lot of it too. And
translation is
history goes to the winner.
Definitely.
Exactly, dude. Yeah, exactly.
History is written by the conquerors. That's for sure. Absolutely. So back to the females, though. All right, so let's circle back
to the females, man. What's the craziest story that you've had that you want to tell the audience?
Females? Experience? I don't know, man. Any...
I mean,
really? No, Cat, bro. You've definitely had crazy nights that you look back at, and
if we're talking like bar, like just like inhumane, like what was going on. Me and my ex had been homeless.
Oh yeah, he's got crazy ones.
4 months, like months, not showered or nothing really, living in a tent. She ate my butthole one night after we got really high on meth.
3 days without showering.
Basically, like her time really getting high on meth for the first time, like one of the first times.
Yeah,
I was already kind of accustomed because I was doing it on the low without her knowing. Yeah. But like prior to us having sex and her eating my butt, I took a knife, and scraped the dead skin off the bottom of my foot, and I could have made a stick of butter by the end of it. Just to give you everybody the idea of how dirty I was. And then we fucked like there was no... I mean, I ate her butt too, but I consider myself the biggest of dirtbags.
Yeah.
So it's already expected. But for her to do it, I was like, holy shit.
Heck yeah.
What is this?
Party animal, that's what...
Dude, I've had occasions... By the way, from the previous conversations, I'm not perfect.
Nobody's perfect. This is California sober, baby.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I still do things that are not halal. I'm working on myself every day.
As you should.
I've had first dates where I fucking have eaten the girl's ass.
Oh yeah, first dates are cool. You know? First dates are fine. I've done that too. But like, I knew how dirty my area was, and it happened, and I was just like, "Holy shit!" Then we broke up like a week later.
Can get to it.
Oh my god, dude, that definitely beats any of mine. Mine include strippers. Mainly, I don't meet them at the club or what have you. I meet them outside of the club. For whatever reason, they've been gravitated towards me at different points in my life, especially when I shave my head. I'm Mexican. My head, I look like a total G.
Look like Nikki over here.
Look like totally different.
As a Mexican.
Totally different.
Like you needed some fucking over the belly button pants and your fucking
Exactly, bro.
yeah.
Yes,
Real,
sir.
I'm
real
aware of
East
that.
Side Anaheim guy. Real East Side Anaheim
Hey.
The
individual.
Lookster,
Yes.
exactly. And so the craziest times I've had were when I shave my head and I meet these strippers, bro, and
Are they like what
little do they know that
kind
I'm
of
fucking
strippers are they? Are they
intellectual, bro.
Hispanic?
Both of them have been Hispanic. Yeah, there has been more than two now that I recall. There's been I can recall.
Okay.
I've had a lot of crazy experiences,
Hey,
though. I'm not
For
gonna lie.
sure. We can't remember
Yeah.
everything that's happened in our lives because of decisions that we've made.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah,
Wait.
absolutely, dude.
For sure.
I can attest to that for sure. There's been points where I just remembered, hey, I actually slept with that girl. Like, oh, I wasn't counting her like at all. like it. So, for instance,
yeah.
let me tell you this story. When I was a videographer for nightclubs, I went to go visit a couple of my friends perform, a couple of rappers perform or what have you. And one by the name of Mike Papes. And he was about to perform, and he had me introduce him in the mic or what have you, just to make it a bigger spectacle. You know what I'm saying? So I come onto the stage, and a stripper that I met that previous, now I'm not going to say her name in case she sees this in the future. or
Skittles
whatever.
was there.
We'll call her Skittles.
Skittles, yeah, Skittles.
That's a good stripper
Yeah,
name.
exactly, dude. And I freaking jumped out of the stage as soon as Mike came, and so we ended that night together at the Lost, right across the street from that particular venue.
Living your best life.
Yeah, absolutely, dude.
Put it
And
up.
bro, the crazy thing is, I didn't even have a car during that time in my life, dude.
Check it out, dog.
You're speaking to the right people, dog.
Yes. Made thousands of bad decisions before I
It was
ever
a
owned
good
my first
idea.
car, which was 29, 3 years
Yeah,
ago. That's when I
yeah.
got my very first car.
Wow, that's
Yes.
crazy, dude. Yeah.
So thousands of horrible decisions.
We slept
It's
in
possible.
we slept in electrical closet rooms in the past when we'd go party.
Yeah.
We
Remember
have
that?
done that. We've done fucking wild shit. I slept in electrical closets at the age of like 25 before I went to prison.
Sometimes you gotta party 24 hours just so you can stay somewhere.
Yo, that is
Exactly.
a fact.
That is true.
You gotta keep going to the next
No,
after.
you can't go.
You make a little friend. They're like, "Where you going?" I'm gonna, your phone has
That's
no
absolutely
service.
true, dude.
Your phone bill's chalked. You're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I think my homeboy." He's like, "Oh, we're going. Oh, let me come with
Yeah.
you."
Yes, sir.
You end up at a random Momo,
Yeah.
like a Motel 6,
Yeah,
fucking doing things.
Yeah.
With certain people, it may change depending on who you're with, gender, this, that, and the other. But you wake up the next day
Feeling amazing.
fucked. No, no.
Oh, you had a
Mo
great
felt
night.
amazing.
dude.
Mo felt amazing.
You've had the better of them. You wake up
Yeah.
the next day and you're just like,
I wake up feeling good every day.
Yeah.
Today, dude, I woke up good. Last night, we
but
raged
you
it.
come down and then you're like,
Yeah,
I don't got a spot to go feel shitty at. Then you're like, fuck, what do I do? Then you gotta
Dude.
maybe get a new girlfriend. These are the levels of
Or
things you go
boyfriend.
Exactly.
I mean,
Depending on how bad you
depending
are.
How bad you,
Depending
how
on how
down
bad you are. Hey,
bro.
people that we have known in life, siblings, have been gay for pay for meth.
Yeah, we don't gotta say names, but
Not at all. I will never say the name.
yeah, we
but
don't do that here.
exactly. The levels people go to.
Also, all of this is hypothetical.
All of it
guys.
is hypothetical.
It's entertainment.
All of
and
People.
hey, guess what?
We might be lying. You just
We
don't
might
know.
be. And if you do want to go, if you know somebody that wants their dick sucked for things that you want, fucking do it, dude.
Hey, no judgment, bro.
Get what you got to get out of
No
life.
judgment.
Because
Wait. What was that one more time? I just
if you got to suck a dick to get what you want, and you know the person that has what you want will want their dick sucked by you, or even not, and you can just throw it out there and it works, all of the props.
all right. I'm just
To
gonna say
you.
this publicly right
Hold
now.
on. I got one little thing to add to this.
I will never
Because
suck dick.
I was at
Yeah.
at the Salvation
Yeah.
Army rehab.
Yeah.
And a man who
Yeah.
was in his 60s
Yeah.
said I sucked a dick for $10 worth of heroin
Stick with it.
in the 90s.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
that's hey, $10 in the
90s
90s though.
before you
That
were
was like
even, so-
$40
No.
today.
Either way, $10 of heroin was dog shit in the 90s is all that matters. It was like not enough to get me high in mid addiction, not even high addiction.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. This was good heroin. That's all that matters, though. Know what you're worth.
Know what you're worth.
Know what you're worth. Don't settle for less.
Yeah, don't.
Definitely
If you get a $30 bag.
If you want a gram of heroin and you're willing to suck a dick for it, don't take less than a gram to suck that dick.
Give me a handy
That's it.
for less.
Now you can go.
I've never done anything gay in my life.
You just want to throw that out? Is that what he's saying? He's just throw that out there? He's got, I got something very important to say. He's never done anything gay in his life.
Gay in my life, bro. But you know what?
The butt. We got a butt.
But man, you know, if you're out there in the streets and if you've done that before, man, only one person can judge you, man. Not me. So,
yourself.
I mean, it might not be God, but it's definitely yourself. But I got a funny gay story. I'm not gonna say names. You already know it.
I do know this one.
I want to just tell him it because he doesn't know it. You might know it. I have a friend. What should we call him?
Scott.
Scott.
Yeah.
I have a friend named Scott, right?
Yeah.
Then I have another homie, a gay homie.
Yeah.
We'll call him Jerry.
Yeah.
Right. So my homie Jerry, this guy knows Jerry. We grew up.
I know
with
both of them.
Oh, you know both, but you know Jerry more.
Yes.
We grew up with Jerry, this gay homie, right?
Yeah.
Always been gay since the day I met him.
Yeah.
I went to Vegas with Scott, right?
Yeah.
And this fool Jerry, I hadn't seen him in like since high school, bro. This was like a few years ago. He hits me up like, "Hey, I'm staying at the hotel right next to you. Can I come over and just say what's up? It's been a while."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Cool. I don't give a fuck. I'm cool with gay people, trans, whatever. It doesn't matter to me, bro. I can party with whoever."
Yeah.
He came over. We're fucking doing coke, ecstasy, drinking, whatever. My homie Scott was trying to get some pussy. Couldn't get pussy the whole night, right?
Yeah.
Next thing I know, it's like 4 a.m. We're going to bed, right? We're at the fucking we're at the Cosmo, right?
Yeah.
So the Cosmo, you need a key card to go use the elevator.
Yeah.
So my homie Jerry, the gay guy, he's gay by the way.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna go to my room.
In case you didn't hear that.
He's gay.
At home.
Anyway, so
Yeah.
I hit up my homie Scott. I'm like, hey, can you take him like to the elevator because you need the key. You want to smoke a cigarette? Go with them.
Yeah.
Long story short, next thing I know, my gay homie Jerry calls me and he's like, "Hey, I just sucked your homie's dick." And I'm like, "What?" And I was like, "Yo, is my homie gay?" He's like, "No, I just think he's freaky." Anyways, this dude super embarrassed about it. Didn't want to talk about it. Eventually talked to me about it. It's just a wild story, bro.
Damn. The first time that I went to Vegas was with a sugar mama.
You got your dick sucked?
Yeah.
Hi, guy.
Nah.
But my homie Jerry, dude, he likes to turn straight guys out, bro.
That's a very look, dude. I have a lot of gay friends. I've grown up with gay people because of my mom and shit like that. It is their baseball.
Not all gay guys though, because I have some gay homies from here, from like Long Beach, and they're super chill, bro. They're not about that.
Yeah, not everybody likes baseball, but a whole lot of people like baseball. You know what I'm saying?
That's fucking hilarious.
Jerry sent me a fucking dick pic once, and I told him, if you do that one more time, I'm gonna knock you out.
Look,
and
dude,
that's the last time you ever did that. I was like, I'm not the one to do that shit too, dude.
One of my good gay friends, I'm the Great White Buffalo to him.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen Hot Tub Time Machine, the Great White Buffalo is the one that got away.
I think
got away.
I think
So
I've
to
definitely seen
him,
that, dude.
like,
For a long time though.
he's always says random dumb shit. We know it's a joke. But if it gets anywhere past a joke, I will beat the dog shit out of him because there's a line drawn.
A line, bro.
And that's all that, that's what it is. Line. Respect lines.
Alright.
If you gotta suck dick to get what you want, go for it.
Okay, bro, no judgment. As long as you're cool with it,
Yes, consensual. That's what we preach here. Consent.
Alright, so here's another current event, bro. SBF, we brought it up earlier, but we'll get more into detail. You know Sam Beekman-Fried?
Who's that?
You never heard of that guy?
What is that?
So Sam Beekman-Fried, he had a crypto exchange. It was called, was it Alameda or was Alameda? No, Alameda
was the other company. He owned Crypto Arena, the Lakers, what it used to be.
Yeah.
His name, that was his company.
Yeah, so
Crypto Arena.
So he had a crypto exchange, right? Turns out he was funneling money from his crypto exchange into his investment firm called Alameda. And then Alameda, he was using that to keep, so his Alameda company was like doing bad. And so he would just take money from his crypto, and his idea was like, we'll make it back, put it back in our crypto exchange.
Yeah.
Never happened. This dude was into drugs, orgies and shit. They moved to this is when you know it's bad, dude. When you have a crypto company owner move to a country where they don't extradite to the US, all right, something's up with
he
that,
was
right?
in the Caymans or the Caribbean?
He
was in the Caribbean.
Yeah, they don't extradite really, but they did for him though because we gave him a lot of money. But anyways, so he got caught up taking a bunch of money, right? Money's gone. They don't know where it's at. He's kind of a nerdy dude. He went to Berkeley. One of his parents is like a lawyer for like a state lawyer attorney. His other parent is I think his dad works for Berkeley.
Both of them are doctorates in something.
I think they're both
Yeah.
lawyers, but one works for the
Respectable.
state and the other's a teacher.
Yeah.
But anyways, very. So they allowed him to post bail, which for something like this they usually don't because of how much money everyone lost, But they allowed him to post bail, and then they caught him because they were monitoring him, and he was using VPNs, and then he was fucking he just was hiding his internet traffic. So people were, and then the stuff that they were able to try to some of the stuff that they saw though, he was communicating with other defendants in the case. He was trying to get the story straight, And so the judge saw that and was like, "Yo, we can't do that. That's no." So they just recently they retracted his bail, so now he's actually in jail. His court case is coming up.
Where's he locked up at?
I don't know, probably some fancy prison. I'm assuming.
Don't have.
Think so. Where's Martha Stewart in?
Martha Stewart had already gotten charged.
Yeah, but where'd she go? Did she go to a nice prison?
Is
right.
she still in jail?
No, Martha Stewart's is living her best life. She's best friends with Snoop Dogg and
Snoop
shit.
Dogg,
Was that
yeah.
They had the
Rikers? I don't
cooking
know if
show and
are you
stuff.
sure
Snoop
she's at
Dogg
Rikers?
just fucking did it, dude. He lived
Snoop Dogg
the best
was-
existence that could have existed.
Check
Oh,
it
yeah.
out, dude. Out of the two of them, Martha Stewart is a lot more gangster than Snoop Dogg is.
In a sense, for sure. Well, Snoop Dogg was always not that type of gangster though.
Bro, Snoop Dogg stopped really doing all his shit when the 90s stopped. When Suge Knight got all that. That was when it officially ended.
He was
Martha
an
was
end
inside
in-
trading
Yeah,
the whole, who knows how long Martha Stewart's been inside trading.
yeah.
The bitch is a fucking gangster.
Gangsters. Fuck.
So I
dude.
feel once he gets sentenced and he finds a home that his parents or whoever will pay for him to stay at, because
he'll probably go to private prison. I think. Dude.
yeah, but you got to pay for that is what
Yeah,
I'm saying,
for sure.
because the normal prisoner, if you got a 10-year term, you might only get fucking transferred, or no, you might get transferred 25 times in 10 years.
Yeah.
Also, leading it back to law, there are ways around a lot of things, dude. It's crazy.
Yes.
If you have the money and you have the smart,
you don't even need the money. You just have to know to even just read your Explorer.
Yeah.
The shit that comes from the cops when you get arrested, because all that wording in the Explorer has to be exactly correct. I've known so many dudes that were going to catch a felony for this or that, and
something was wrong.
instead, like I was saying earlier, point 1 needs to be point 2 because of the law code. That what was different, and the case got dismissed.
Yeah,
now you can still get retried. I think you have up to a year for this state or county to recharge you for your things.
Yeah.
Have you heard of sovereign individuals?
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Dude, going pro-po or pro-per,
I love
that shit.
You've heard of it though, right?
Yeah, I love watching videos of those people get arrested. That shit's funny as fuck.
You can't arrest
but
me. I'm a USA citizen.
I don't need a driver's license.
Those guys are fucking stupid. The Facebook videos, I'm talking about being locked up with the people that go. It's called being pro-per.
Yeah.
When you basically represent yourself.
Oh,
Is that what you're talking about?
No. He's talking about these people. So there's this thing that was prior to the Civil War, they were sovereign citizens, right? So it was just people that basically, because before the country was broken up, right? So each state had its own laws. So there's people that were sovereign citizens.
Yeah, the 13 colonies and shit. This is what we're going back to.
After that, it was after that. This is literally right before the Civil War, I believe. So there were sovereign citizens that went to. Damn, I didn't charge that all the way. Fuck. They followed a certain law for a certain state, I guess, that they considered to be federal law, right? Anyway, so these are the type of people that they think you're what is that fucking what is, you know how you have that card when you're born, what is it? I can't remember the name of it.
Social Security card?
They think your Social Security card is
credit card.
Yeah, when you're born, your social
China.
No, they think when you're born, the government puts aside a certain amount of money for every citizen, right? And so your Social Security number is how you get access to those funds. So they're like, oh yeah, they put aside 1.5 mil per person. That's your 1.5 mil. And so they go around trying to tell people how they can get it. They're like big.
I've never heard of you. You're blowing my fucking mind right now.
It's a mind fuck, bro. It's definitely a rabbit hole. And some of these people, they just withdraw their U.S. citizenship because supposedly you're supposed to just not be a U.S. citizen to be able to get all of these crazy rights.
Yeah.
Where you can just do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
And again, this is not fucking advice. You're listening at home.
It's not true.
Just fucking
don't try
stick to the plan, bro.
This sticks to my pro-per thing. If you've been locked up and want to go pro-per, don't. Get a lawyer.
This is the definition of a sovereign citizen by Wikipedia, right? Okay, the sovereign citizen movement is a loose grouping litigant, anti-government activity, tax protesters, financial scheme promoters, and conspiracy theorists who adhere to pseudological concepts. Sovereign citizens claim to be answerable only to their particular interpretations of common law and believe that they are therefore not subject to any government statutes or proceedings unless they consent to them. The movement, which appeared in the early 1970s, all right, I was wrong about the Civil War, sorry, internet. That's what told me that.
70s. That makes it so much worse.
Is American in origin.
During the time, dude.
Yep, exactly.
It's the 70s. You had information to find at that point.
Yep, and exists primarily in the United States. Though it has expanded to other countries, funny, the Freemen on the land movement, an offshoot of the sovereign citizens movement with similar doctrines emerged during 2000s in Canada before spreading to other Commonwealth countries in the United States. Federal Bureau of FBI, the FBI describes sovereign citizens as anti-government extremists who believe that even though they physically reside in this country, they are separate or sovereign from the United States.
Oh, these are kind of like the "don't tread on me" people.
Exactly.
Not really, kind of, but yeah.
That's a militant aspect
it's
of
like
what
the modern
you just
version
said.
of that. That's the modern version of that.
They'll have that sticker on their fucking car.
Oh yeah, dude. Fucking these are the people that are getting their windows shattered by a baton on Facebook.
It's so funny, bro.
Some of the proportion, some of the things that they're saying are kind of true if you know what an expat is. An expat can go about living tax-free.
What is an expat?
An expat is a person that is initially American that lives in another country, whether it's Singapore or lives in Colombia or what have you.
Yeah.
An expat sometimes will throw away his or her U.S. citizenship, get another citizenship, and be tax-free and own several businesses here. Again, this is something that's nuanced. It's not advice. You have to look at the nitty-gritty details. Yeah. But some of the things that an expat does coincides with what some of these so-called sovereign citizens do. That's why it's so elusive and such a addicting thing to look up, because you'll look at it and you'll say to yourself, how the fuck is this true? And you're looking at the law and these people that hide their wealth through a massive corporate veil, and these people that seem
people
a little
that
loony.
have accounts in the Cayman Islands, for instance, like that type of deal.
I just think it's entitled people, bro. People that think they're so entitled that they believe like I'm alive, therefore I should have certain rights. That's cool, and I believe that. Being alive, sure, you should get some certain rights. But being a part of a society means that you have to adhere to societal rules, you know? If you don't like it, go to another country that believes in what the fuck you believe in. You can find them. There's so many countries out there, you know? You can find a country that isn't going to tax you on your fucking business.
Dubai.
You can't live in one of the you can't live in one of the greatest countries in the world and be like, I'm going to follow my rules.
Dubai?
No, here in America. Well, Dubai has their own set of rules too, though.
Dubai's got way worse rules than we do.
Oh yeah, dude. You can't even visit your home country if you become a citizen of Dubai. Did you know that? For like, I think you're only allowed like 9 days out of the year go back to your home country to visit. So Dubai, even though they have things like tax-free duty, like, you know, like you can buy goods without taxes and all this shit, you forfeit a lot of your freedom, you know, because of that. So it's like I said, there's always a hit and miss, but it doesn't matter because you as an individual do not matter. I'm sorry, that's just the fact. It's like we as a collective are what makes a community, that makes a society, you know. So if you want to be part of this society, you have to follow these societal rules, you know.
Unless you give enough value to matter.
No matter how much, let's look at Elon Musk, right? He's probably one of the most valuable people in the world, right? Yeah, exactly, America will continue without him, regardless, right? If you were to die tomorrow, it would suck. You see Tesla maybe crash, whatever. But the U.S. as a whole will continue to grow. It'll continue to be its thing. You as a single individual, you don't matter. So this is the collective, you know?
Unless you've got nuclear launch codes.
And you do matter.
Then you matter. Don't launch those.
Because you have the ability to eradicate a lot of people. It's a little different, but yeah, I like where you're going with that. Yeah. That means we should all own a nuke.
There's some evil little genius listening to this with
That's
his
like, I got an idea. Let's get some plutonium.
Yeah.
Well, some Bart-like figure.
Yeah,
some Bart.
Sure. Mr. Burns. Mr. Burns is out there fucking clacking his fingers.
Yeah.
Exactly,
but like what you're talking about is like a gray area. For somebody doing the expat. That is not a gray area if you are an American citizen. Like, is that what you're saying where like it kind of sounds correct? Like, can the guy that's saying the sovereign shit to a cop, win in court based on something else the expat did, since they're kind of following the same ideas.
Depends
Does that
on where
make
the court,
sense?
Sometimes,
depends on where the
but-
court is. If the court is in, like, let's say you have a business in Ireland and you're here in the United States.
No, I'm talking U.S.
This is
Come on,
not
baby.
legal
This is USA.
advice.
No, this is not illegal advice.
This
He just
is
said he knows
not
law
legal
stuff.
Well,
fucking
U.S. law is
advice.
U.S. law. If you commit a crime in the U.S., then that you have to adhere to U.S. policy. But if you have a business in like Ireland or something, then you go to Irish court and you have to make your claim there.
Yeah,
you
so
know?
in his ass, and what you're saying with the expat, I'm not saying his personal at all. Not that. But the information that has been talked about previous to this, with the expat being, is it inclusive to like America with the expat term, or you're just talking anybody in general going from one country to another and taking their their citizenship?
If a person moves from one country to another, they still have to pay taxes here in America unless they give up their American citizenship, and then they wouldn't have to go about doing that. Now, I'm telling you, the law is very nuanced. dude.
Yes.
It's very nuanced. For example, there's a thing called Texas two-step, where if you're a company
two-step, baby.
in Texas, you can open up another corporation or business entity, whatever it may be, and bankrupt that business entity, and then not be liable for what you initially cost you. For example, there's these different laws in state. There's different state laws. There's different federal laws. And the people that are expats are usually people that are entrepreneurs that are looking for the most loopholes.
Where to put their money in.
Exactly. For example, you can buy gold in certain countries that will keep it stored, that will retain its value. You can keep certain money in Singapore or Belize, that's an English-speaking country, and it will be a banking heaven where there's banking secrecy. In fact, there's in some of these countries, a secrecy is protected by law.
You can't even talk about said bank that you have your money in, like that level of protected.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the aspect to like just drop the sovereign thing and just talk about expat, because I'm like that's super interesting to me.
Dude, it's fucking
It's a business.
fascinating,
It's more for
dude.
business, like
well, yeah,
ventures
but
and
for
stuff.
sure, it's like, well, because working in festivals, like our shit's small. My boss has ties with Pasquale, the guy that owns. It's like I've been in the same room as Pasquale Rotella.
That's called the basketball player. I mean,
No,
the fucking
the guy that owns Insomniac. The guy,
Oh,
the guy
okay,
that
okay.
owns EDC and all that shit. I've been in the same room as him.
It's dope,
I
man.
deal with like
Yeah.
one of the guys I deal with regularly or see and talk to is like directly under him. So like I'm in aspects a lot of times of a room with like over $100 million in net worth, and just kind of like hearing them talk about shit. Oh, I'm gonna do this with this business or this and that. So like the shit you're talking about right now, like I've kind of heard from just being around certain people in meetings and shit like that.
Yeah.
So like say you are the expat individual and you already have a flourishing business in America. You go to this new country to quote unquote visit and you decide you want to move there and change your citizenship. What happens to the country that's still in the US, or the business that's still in the US?
A business. I mean,
You gotta either pay
Here's-
taxes or it goes away.
here's the thing, though. There's companies that buy companies all the time.
Yeah.
You can have an
Understand?
American business and not be American. It's not
But-
illegal.
Well, no, but what happens when, because that business is tied to this guy that just changed citizenship.
Yeah, you don't have
But
to.
now his taxes and shit have just become whatever the fucking country he's moved into and not US.
Also, there's specific countries where you can
No,
you can buy citizenship in that country. Some countries it's harder. The last time that I checked, and this is the last time that I checked, if you're even slightly
Multiple years
Italian-
ago.
Yeah.
Multiple years ago.
Like 29 years ago,
Yes.
I checked on this. But if you have any Italian blood, Italy will give you citizenship. No, he is Mexican.
Yes.
You can get Mexican citizenship. Last time that I checked.
I get
29
Vietnamese
years
citizenship
ago.
though. They don't have dual citizenship in Vietnam.
Well, no, I know like Canada has dual citizenship.
Yeah.
And then, so what happens in that? Oh, I guess you wouldn't be an expat at that point, right? If you go somewhere with dual citizenship because you're still an American.
Yeah,
Well, you're on your way.
No, well, it's
On your
so.
way.
Okay.
So the expat thing is like if you have a business, just say you're American, you open up a business in let's say Mexico, your business that operates in Mexico has to follow Mexican laws.
I'm not talking about laws. I'm talking about the back end.
Yeah. Well, taxes is part of law, though, right?
So what? Okay, but say like,
and then does the U.S. get a cut of it?
Also,
No.
just kind of random fact that I want to add. You also get taxed on where your domain is held. I think.
Okay, yeah.
That's something that I.
There's like a .ca.com. Whatever.
Yeah, so if your freaking domain or wherever the servers are in another country, you get. Again, I'm not a tax professional.
No.
But everything that I said was a lie.
Yes.
Everything.
Don't assume any of this to be true. It's just very interesting to me because it seems like the whole, I kind of got into this shit originally when they're like, Trump doesn't have an identity. And then when they did the whole, his tax return, and it was like 3 cents or something stupid like that. And like, that kind of just put me into this whole spiral of like, how the fuck do rich people stay rich? Because the following year, New York changed the year after COVID ended. New York, if you made more than $1 million, more than half of your income was taxes. It was like 52% if you made more than $1 million. But you have all these millionaires that want to stay in New York still because it's fancy for whatever fucking reason.
Just like
also, there's different intersectional dynamics in those huge cities because the way that the power dynamics work is that these different cities like LA and New York are seemingly one way, but they're actually another way, which caters to power more. I can go into detail, but I'm not going to. That's more of a private conversation or what have you, but I digress.
Is that based on just the fact of and this is common knowledge that California by itself makes up most of the GDP for the US, and New York is probably the other half or third?
So we'll talk about that when the camera's off.
So that is allegedly a possibility. Probably not. It's just, they're popular. It's New York. There's cool things there.
Cool.
Important people are in New York. The president goes to New York all the time. The president comes to LA all the time.
So check this out, bro. Back to some current events. This is one I do want to bring up.
Yeah.
Japan, baby.
My favorite. Dude, that's where I'd go.
India, dude.
Did you say Japan? You said Japan?
I said Japan, yeah.
That's where I'd go. If I can move and live anywhere.
Yeah, you guys
do that. Seems dope, bro.
Canada's for felony base, but life, I want to live in Japan. I love anime. I love everything about Japan.
Japan, you probably have a tough time with the tattoos.
I don't give a fuck.
They're super nice, I heard. They're like supposed to be like the super,
they don't lock anything up, bro. They're nice.
I want to buy panties out of a vending machine. That's what it comes down to.
That's pretty tight, though. Japan, bro, check this out. So I lately, as of pretty much since we started this fucking podcast, we've been doing a lot of shit talking to the CCP, Chinese Communist Party, just because I don't know.
We haven't.
We kind of. I don't know.
Anyways,
so I digress, as he says. That's a fucking great term, by the way. I'm gonna start using that. I'm definitely gonna start using that.
Use that word.
Please do it, dude.
But anyway, so Japan just recently, you know how they had that whole Fukushima issue with the fucking
reactors?
The nuclear reactors. They basically had a bunch of wastewater. So the way that the nuclear reactor works is it's cooled through hydrogen and water. Right?
Yeah.
If it's a water cooled plant,
that was China attacking the podcast.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
Yeah.
They sent, direct energy weapon to this dude. You got cancer now, dog.
Yes, sir. So they had a bunch of that wastewater that they just had in storage because like it had that nuclear waste in there, and they didn't know what to do with it. They recently decided, like I'm talking recently, like a week or two ago, to
space.
No, they decided they're just gonna release into the ocean. They're like, what are we gonna do with it, right? So you know how China, the South Chinese Sea, it goes from China to Japan, right? And China's trying to lay claim to that sea, even though it's not. The UN.
Well, they're gonna dump it there.
Well, that's the only ocean they have. That's Japan. That they don't have
better
any
than
ocean.
To us.
So there's this whole ongoing issue where Japan is trying to say that the ocean from China to past Japan all the way to past Japan basically belongs to them, right? The UN, they recognize like a land to sea law, right? So it's basically you have 15 feet. So 15 feet after land, it belongs to you, and then there's another drop off of like I think 12 feet to where you can protect militarily, right? So between 12 to 15 feet belongs to you, right? Everything else is open waters. China has never recognized that. They say that this is all Chinese owned, right? From Vietnam, the Vietnamese Ocean, Japan, all that. So when Japan said that they're going to release this water, China started going on their fucking propaganda machine. Like they're dropping all this water into China. This is the Chinese Sea. they started telling their citizens that like all the seafood is going to be toxic, even though it's so far away. And the amount of waste, they've already done the studies where it shouldn't really affect anything, really, to be honest. It's like a slow, low toxicity.
Yeah, they're like dropping sealed barrels. There's got to decay.
It was just to cool the nuclear reactors. It's not like actual fucking nuclear.
It's not plutonium. It's not plutonium in the barrels.
I'm sure it's not the best for the sea, but it's not this bad. So, anyways, China has gone on this propaganda machine, telling people that like fuck Japan. Japan wants us to die. They're saying how like I don't know if you know Japan and China. They've had this issue back in the day, right? Like before World War II and all that. So they've always been on this fuck shit with Japan. So they're saying that it's the Japanese doing it again. This has caused a collapse in the Chinese seafood industry, and Chinese people love seafood. It's like a third of their fucking GDP, right? Is seafood. So,
wait, a third of.
Maybe not a third, maybe like a fifth or something, but it's
still a whole fucking. It's a billion people. That's
it's a lot.
200 million or more.
Dude, there's live stream. So China's about live streaming, right? So they have these live streaming seafood companies that are like crying, begging people to buy their shit, And as soon as people try to live stream something, people start talking shit like, you shouldn't be trying to sell this. This is toxic. There was a video that was posted of this little girl. She looked like 5 or 6, where she had a map in her living room and she cut out a part of Japan. And she's like crying, saying like, why would Japan do this? It's just so crazy propaganda rollout. Part of it also has to do with Japan like increasing their military because they're kind of worried about China trying to take over their parts of their sea, So they've as of this year, they're basically brought back their military. Before they only had a defense budget. They never had an offense budget. So they've been working with the United States to get like Apache helicopters. They've been buying.
You imagine the nuke we're gonna make with them?
Oh, dude.
Sorry to be like slightly insensitive or something, but
yeah.
Who better to figure out how to make it better?
Yeah, they know from firsthand.
Exactly.
That first one was alright, but
the second one was amazing. Now let's make the third one to drop on them a game changer.
By the way, if you're a cute Japanese girl, we're just.
If you're a cute Japanese girl that hates China, fucking at Macaulay Hulkin on Instagram, fucking hit me up.
I'd always elevate.
Yeah, hit him up if you're just a cute Japanese chick. And whatever your stance is fine. But if you hate China, fucking let me know. I'll fucking post this shit on the page.
Later.
It's nice meeting you as well.
So I think it's interesting because you see China, because they're so into propaganda and so into like their government ran status that they're willing to let their industries die for their propaganda. You saw with COVID how manufacturing's gone. Yeah. It's left China. It's going to India, Vietnam, all these other Southeast Asian countries now, That is going to cause a ripple effect in China, right? And that was just because the CCPD wanted to control its citizens through this whole COVID epidemic, right? Then you have this whole thing where they don't like Japan, so they're destroying their seafood industry to make a point, And it's like, at what point is the CCP gonna stop? Are they just willing to let their country just self-destruct, Yeah,
it's one of the things that these revolutionaries passed down from one generation to another. So let's just go way back into the birth of communism. The birth of communism just began with an idea and then eventually made its way to reality. And the reality that there was no free markets and a price-controlled market invisibly controlling in a very natural way, in a very balanced way, how things worked in the world, in the universe, whatever. So prices control a lot of things. They communicate a lot of things to a whole society in a way that a rock is dropped into the ocean and then there's a ripple.
Yeah.
And that's how price works in a very invisible way. And so these ideas that came out of these philosophers sounded really good. When the ripple stopped, the threads of society decayed, which is prevalent in the Soviet Union or what have you.
Marxism.
But as the generation from one revolutionary to another has passed, there has been these books that have told them exactly what to do in particular situations. One of those books is named Propaganda. One of those books is actually named Propaganda, How to Make a Propaganda. So it's absolutely an arts from all these nations, not only China. I'm gonna stop right there.
Yeah. What's Marxism, right? The whole ideology of Marxism is about controlling the population through information, right? That's why you had Russia. That's why you had all these other communist countries. They arrested scholars, right? Like teachers, universities, practitioners, or university students, right? All the brightest minds were arrested or murdered, right? Because the ability to control information is the ability to control your society, And that's one very strong ideology of the Marxist ideology, So anyways, I think it's interesting because, I'm Vietnamese, so it's like I'm from a communist country. I wasn't born in Vietnam, but I visited, And
How was it, man?
It was fucking amazing, bro.
I kind of want to go, bro. Dude,
let's go, bro.
It seems dope, man. Shout out to my Vietnamese homies.
I got a spot we could stay at in South Vietnam, bro, in Ho Chi Minh, dude. But it's cool, dude. But there's definitely the where I'm from. We're from the South, so we're with the Democratic. We want the Americans to win and shit.
Yeah.
So it's not as bad as other parts of the country, in terms of the communism. But it exists everywhere. It's Vietnam. But they have actual speakers in the city where the Communist Party will tell you shit, tell the citizens shit.
Yeah.
I don't understand Vietnamese, but I remember one morning I asked my cousin what they were saying, and she said it was like anti-American propaganda, I thought that was interesting.
That's all around the world, man. I have this Egyptian friend that's constantly bashing America to me.
Yeah.
Because I'm from here or what have you. Like, the West is finished.
Yeah.
He's always constantly posting stuff that makes fun of America or what have you. So that's not only Vietnam, that's like the whole world.
Yeah.
People hate us because they ain't us.
They hate us because they ain't us.
I have no idea what's been said.
Yeah,
but
they hate us because they ain't us.
They hate
Let me
us.
zoom the camera.
They hate us because they ain't us.
But Vietnam is a beautiful country, bro. Honestly, I went out there and I wanted to live there for like a year or two because the way they live, and I think this is like very specific to like poorer countries, not just Vietnam, but it's like all they want to do is have a good time, bro. So it's like they get paid daily there for the most part, and they just spend their money at the bar. Bars are packed every day. It's not like a college night, Thursday through Saturday thing. Every day people go party, they karaoke. It's just the vibe is different. Everyone just wants to have a good time there. And I loved it, bro. It was a good time.
But what about things?
What things?
Like I said, I have no idea what they've been talking about. I'm going off purely what Maurice just said. What about like I like things? Like what if you are not like the person that wants to go to, like, I don't like going to the bar like that. What if I just want to go buy things?
Well,
is it enough amount of money for me to do that, or is it like?
It depends.
That's kind of my goal.
Do you know what I'm saying though? Like, because there's certain like systems that are designed to just have that happen, where they give you enough money because they know you've been overworked and you want to go get fucked up after, so they give you that amount of money. But if I wanted to go buy like a $70 hat, and my daily rate is $70,
you're not getting
but I can get 65 drinks and only buy one hat. You know what I mean?
You're not buying a $70 hat out there, like an American hat. But also corporations, they understand that different economies have different values. So like an iPhone in Vietnam is going to be cheaper than an iPhone in America. Yeah, it's a little bit cheaper.
I'm going to Vietnam for fucking iPhone 15.
There's probably way better places you could go.
Yeah, it's cheaper, but then also you're not going to get like 5G. You're not going to get these things because they don't have 5G towers out there anyway. So that's how they bring the cost down.
Fucking go through the
Russia,
menu.
you want to figure out, dude, let me tell you what. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Please.
There's from working festivals there, if you ever notice people constantly getting their cell phones taken, you might have seen videos on Instagram like, oh, a guy gets caught with 60 phones in his backpack, right?
Yeah.
Where we are located when events happen, we are directly involved with the people going after that. Just so I don't say too much shit, but to give the organization that's taking the phones aspect, it's a $1 billion a year business.
To take away the phones?
To steal phones. It is a $1 billion a year business.
Yeah.
They're stealing at any major massive, so like anything at like Nocturnal that's coming up or like something along that lines, they're stealing 200 phones an hour.
What the fuck?
Yes, it's a team, and there's usually like one or two people on there that as soon as your phone's gone, it's bricked within a minute and a half.
Oh, bro, and iPhones are fucking advanced, man.
They are exactly, and that's the thing they're going for mainly.
Is that why you said Russia in the very beginning?
Well, it's just because Russia
No,
uses...
I'm saying.
I'm just kidding,
No,
Russia.
no. I'm not. There's a reason. Just because of the
technology. So in Russia and China,
people identified.
well, China and Russia. So you know how your phone is eye locked.
Yeah.
So China and Russia doesn't have that because they're communist countries. So they don't want people to be able to track each other. They want to be the ones that track them.
Yeah.
And they don't have like Apple doesn't have the ability to shut down phones through their serial number out there. So that's why the market for stolen iPhones is big in Russia and China. It's because those two countries, they don't like that.
You can take so like my boss is Russian.
Yeah.
His family is like half his family's Ukrainian, half's Russian, honestly.
Yeah.
And
beautiful women are fucking Ukrainian.
Hey, you know what I mean? I'm fucking Romanian, Yugoslavian.
That's dope, man. Yeah.
They're great. But you can take a bricked phone, all brick. Like Apple will not fuck
Apple
with
locks
it at all. Apple lock to Russia and still get $300-400 for it because they'll get it to get turned on.
It's not locked over there.
They'll fly them like to those places.
Then that network that's basically it's like a network thing basically. Like you ever get a DVD back in the day when you were a kid that was like, I think it's either called Network or something, but like the DVD wouldn't play, and that's because it was a Japanese or like whatever the fuck DVD. If you ever ghetto and had to buy like off the train, the dude's like 3 for $10. Yeah, that happened every now and again.
Okay,
you get like a random one that wouldn't work, and that's because region. That's what it's called in DVDs. It had a different region it was for specifically.
It's like a part of the Matrix that is like unlocked, you know?
Matrix.
you don't get access to that fucking part of the Matrix, you know? You don't get access to fucking... It's like playing Pokemon and you can't go past a certain...
Oh, yeah, you gotta wait. You gotta beat the gym first.
Yeah.
Totally.
There's some parts in Pokemon. There's a door, for example, in one cave where you can't open at all.
Oh, in the originals, there was one.
Yeah.
Before Yellow came out. And then Yellow, you didn't have to do the extra shit to get into it, I think. But I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, like it's exactly like that.
It was that and the rare candy hack that I learned about. That was like one of the very first cheat codes I've ever learned about in life.
What do you mean rare candy?
So you'd have to swim.
Go another beer, bro?
Yeah, sure.
There's like one Modelo, there's like a cold Modelo. I just threw all the bottles in the fridge because I'm an asshole and forgot to do it earlier. Yeah, I was too busy worrying about right now and right there and now.
But this podcast is fucking 2.5 hours.
Yeah, dude, he'll cut it down. We're kind of this is what the podcast is. We just love to just like you're smart as fuck, dude. So like talking to you is like very informative to me. So like I love asking questions and shit like that.
And then when the cameras are off, we'll go back into the subjects that I can't
there's definitely a couple
about.
subjects I'm definitely gonna want to get back into when the cameras go off.
It's
but like
easier to talk when there's no cameras, bro.
And you're also like the first guest that we've with both of us on.
Yeah, we've had other guests, but he hasn't been on because it's work.
Because of work. But you also like know how to be like me and him just figured out we're like almost a year into making this.
We're episode 32, baby.
Yeah, 32. So like 20 more episodes has been a year. Go like this. So grab the bottle at the top and make sure the cap lines up with your hands.
Yeah.
Then pop it hard.
And then the bottom part just stick right in so it fits under the cap and just hold your first finger. There you go.
There you go.
Bro,
I just taught him, dog.
Dude, you just changed my life, bro.
I did what my dad couldn't do. Be there for somebody.
Sorry.
Hey,
What's
mine
up?
too. Hey, shout out to my pops. I've never met you.
Yo! Shout out to this man's pops, dude.
Cheers.
Fuck
If you're
you.
watching this,
Fuck you.
I agree with you.
No, I met my dad once when I was 18, hammered on 4th of July. And it didn't turn out cool at all. So,
Who?
I don't know. We can give it to him.
3, 2, 1.
Right, just toss it. So,
Bow.
another current event.
I got a current event actually.
What you got?
Do you guys know about Burning Man? What's going on with
Yeah.
Burning Man?
What's going on?
No, not the
protest?
protest.
The
What
flood?
do you know of the flood?
I just know of it.
You know Burning Man? All
Yeah.
right. So, for those that don't know, Burning Man is a festival that's not really a festival. There's no paid artists or anything like that. It's technically a collective, if you will.
They don't allow money for anything.
No, there's no money
trading.
exchange or anything. It's fucking insane, but
Yeah.
I'm sure there's money exchanged.
You're not supposed to.
I've heard of some pretty cool stuff going down at Burning Man. But Vegas is essentially getting hit by like
Crazy storms.
Moses level shit, or whoever the guy that had the ark, Noah.
Yeah.
Like Noah's Ark level storms right now. And where they hold Burning Man is in the middle of nowhere. It is literally
Desert.
a self-made city for the festival only. and no reason anywhere else will there be stuff there. It's right outside of an Air Force base. There's been gnarly storms, and they're not letting people leave.
Yeah.
You are not allowed to leave Burning Man to a minimum of Monday because of safety issues.
Aside from that, though,
That's going to be a fucking Fire Island documentary.
It is going to be
It's
for
going to
sure
be
because
for
people.
sure.
So, individuals that I'm connected with are at the event, and I've seen like screenshots and shit like that. Like,
Yeah.
there's been multiple deaths so far
I can imagine.
because of
water.
the rain. Yeah,
Yeah.
because of the rain, and people have like big ass generators. Like, there's giant generators there, and they're getting underwater, and
Damn.
people are still trying to rage.
So
Wow.
check this out. Even before the Burning Man started, right?
Yeah.
There's one freeway to get to Burning Man, right?
Yeah.
One road. There's these protesters. They were protesting. What were they protesting? Were they protesting like the environment? I think they were environmentalists. They had created a blockade. One lady had chained herself to the blockade, right? People were getting pissed, bro. They're trying to remove the blockade, and the protesters were trying to fight them back. A cop ends up just driving through the blockade. But this was like a whole like 10-hour event. Like they were saying that it was blocked off for like 10 miles. And it's funny because Burning Man, I think most people that go to Burning Man they're like hippies.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say 90% of the Burning Man people are probably into the environment. So it doesn't even make sense, dude.
Mm,
They're hippies.
kind of.
They're in the desert.
If they're OG, who's just this is purely from like being in the same room with these very important people from in like Somniac and shit like that. You meet random other people affiliated with them, and like they're multimillionaires with
No, I'm talking about the people that go to Burning Man though.
that can afford. Dude, Burning Man is a fucking $4,000 minimum thing usually for somebody. Like, so like a lot of people that say they're like burners and shit like that, they're probably not.
But even if you go, it's 4,000. Let's say you camp with like 6 people though. That's less than 1,000 a person, dude.
Yeah, but no, it's 4,000, and then you have to think about like there's nothing there. It is an entirely self-sustaining thing. So like
Water.
water, but like more of that. There's people that get invited. There's people that fly in on helicopters. So like a majority of the people involved with what happens with Burning Man are like fucking patent owners and shit like that.
I disagree, dude, because Burning Man. So I have friends that are super into outdoorsy shit that go to Burning Man,
Yeah.
and
They're lower level. That's what I'm.
they're just about like living off the earth type people.
Yeah, dude,
They can go to Burning Man and not spend a lot of
Remember
money.
Jesse
I agree with
Trujillo?
them. They're probably lower level. For example, like even in the hippie circles, if you're a good dressed hippie, you're getting chick.
Yeah, or like Rainbow. Like if you
Jesse
know.
Trujillo, that's a good example. Of that
He's
type of
lower.
dude.
Like, I mean, no offense, Jesse, not at all. But like, I'm talking about like the guys that I've seen and talked to. Like, oh, I hear him talking about Burning Man. Be like, oh, this, that, and the other. They're like, oh yeah, I'll fly in Tuesday and then fly out Thursday to go home and take a shower, and then fly back Thursday
crazy.
night.
That's a specific.
But
group
those
of
are the
people,
same
but-
people
Like
that
hipsters,
are.
for
Well, those
example,
are
that
the organizers.
like trust fund.
Yes,
hipsters.
exactly.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
are the same people that are like having to deal with the organizing of the event, because like other than you buying a ticket, like they're not making money on it.
Yeah. But like I said, most people that go to Burning Man, they're more environmentally conscious, you know? It's not like going to your EDC or
No,
that
it's
shit, you know what I
definitely
mean?
no, yeah, for sure.
So I
different
think
than
it's
that.
ironic that they try to, block them off from getting to that. And it's funny because you could see people like everyone that would come talk to the protesters, they would be like, I care about the environment. This is just bullshit. And then it's funny because the flood thing happened. So I think this Burning Man that just passed is like, that was a shit show.
For sure. I know Creamfields. If
Sure, it's probably hotter than usual too, if it's like how it was down here.
Also, there's like worse things for the environment that, if
Let's
you're
talk about-
you're an environmentalist, you should probably focus on
China.
like priorities, like something that really, really fucks up the environment.
countries that don't have environmental protective acts and such is
Well,
what
China-
my man to the left of me is trying to say. We don't mind the CCP, but if you are a Japanese woman that hates the CCP, my Insta's right here. Fucking hit me up.
So China and India equate for like 80% of the world's pollution. America could be they could have zero pollutants and it wouldn't even put a dent in the overall pollutants in the
Yeah,
atmosphere.
we don't have 1 billion people.
It doesn't even make sense why these protesters are going crazy, because it's like, if you really give a fuck, go to China, go protest over there, because America, we're actually pretty eco-friendly, bro.
We are.
Like, we have certain...
Yeah, we are.
Especially
we
if
have-
you live in California.
We have different gas for different states because certain states are more highly populated, So we have a different grade of gas that's better for the environment, which equates to the gas being more expensive because it's a special blend, you know? So it's like these environmentalists. My sister, she's the hippie, bro. She's a little environmentalist. Kaylee.
Which one? Oh, Kaylee, the youngest.
And I'm just like, she complains about all this stuff. I love her to death, bro. But I'm just like,
shut
dude,
the fuck up about it, please.
You're barking up the wrong tree, dude. You're complaining to your, like, that's like having coming from a good household, 2-parent household who makes good money, puts their money in their children, complaining to them about how your friends' parents are like druggies.
But it's like they'll let me spend the night. It's like, I don't give a shit. I know they're fucking smoking reefer with you guys. You're not spending the night over there.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the irony is crazy, dude. I just brought it up because it's been a whole big ordeal. But next subject that I want to bring up, Disney, bro.
What's going on with Disney?
Let's hear about it.
Have you seen how Disney? Have you been seeing how Disney stock's been plummeting for the last like 5 years?
Dude, Disney will literally fucking come into this room and we'll never see the light of day.
We'll be next to Walt Disney's frozen body hooked up to fucking medical tubing while they suck the life out of us to keep Walt Disney alive. So we love Disney.
Do you guys remember E-Bombs World?
Yes.
E-Bombs World.
Let's get into it, dog.
That crazy freaking
Disney anime.
That Disney anime, the original one that had color where there was no color that existed.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
I know what you're talking about. I really do.
It was scary when I was fucking 12, bro.
And then look at all the shit that comes out, because that was when we were very young. And then shortly after is like Steamboat Mickey. You get to see all the weird shit. Well, this is for me, for instance. I'm sorry, I'm not speaking for all of us, but for me, it was like what you're talking about, because I got into like the beheading videos and like I got into the dark web and E-Bombs World and everything connected, Rotten.com, all that.
The dark web was so easy to fucking access.
At that age, dude, I was I was in 7th grade in computer lab, and my homie was like, "Go to this."
Yeah, let's go on tour. Fucking
the little onion proxies you could go through. Yes,
man, I was on the Silk Road, man.
Yes, so circle back though, Disney, bro.
I'm kidding. The government.
Okay, yes, Disney.
So Disney's been doing bad, bro. Their movies have been tanking, dude. They became very, very woke, dude, and people just don't like the woke culture, you know. So Star Wars has been failing.
Do you have an update for the last episode with Snow White?
Oh yeah, she's fired. Yeah. I didn't put it in here.
Was she fired?
Yeah, that whole project's canned. They're done with it. Cadet is fired. Rachel Zegler's fired. Oh, by the way, Rachel Zegler, she's Hispanic. She's not Mexican or black. We were both wrong, but she is Hispanic. I want to say she's Colombian.
Either way, dude, Snow White should be a white bitch, because it's always been a white bitch.
It's in her name.
If you want to switch it around, fucking go for it.
Make a new thing.
Just make a new movie.
I agree.
That's all I'm saying.
So because Disney's doing so bad, bro, Bob Iger, who is the head of Disney right now, he is considering coming up with a contract to basically sell their IPs. They'll sell Mickey Mouse, they'll Snow White, and it's interesting because people are wondering like, what's going to happen to the parks? And Bob Iger had an answer for that. He said, "We will sell our IPs, but in the contract, it's going to state that we get to keep our IPs for the theme parks." I don't think I've never heard of a deal like this. He wants to be able to sell Mickey Mouse for other people to make Mickey Mouse movies, but then keep Mickey Mouse in the theme park, which I don't see that happening. I can't see any company.
Well, no, I mean, isn't there still a Winnie the Pooh ride? And Winnie the Pooh's technically out of.
Yeah.
Okay, and then think of Universal Studios.
Well, we talking about current IP, so like Marvel is an IP that they own, right? So they want to be able to sell Marvel to another studio so they can make Marvel movies, but then they still want to keep Marvel characters.
That'll never happen. Look at the Fox. If you look at the whole Fox debacle with Deadpool and Spider-Man, that'll never happen.
But let's say, even with the theme parks, if they sell the Disney IP to another company, they can take Disney out of the rides because that doesn't apply to this, because that was prior to, they made the Disney ride prior to when the.
No, yeah. So are you talking about like since the thing isn't up, that whole like 100-year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they built the theme park before that 100-year.
Yeah.
So then if I buy the rights to Mickey Mouse, I could be like, I want it gone. So Bob Iger had thought about that, and that's why he's trying to allow him to be used in the theme parks. I just think it's interesting, and it shows how desperate Disney is right now.
I don't think Disney
for it, bro. But I don't want to see Disney fail. Watch them crash and burn, baby.
Well, it's definitely an end of a generation. Not every business no business has ever lasted forever. No. We're just witnessing fucking
Disney is never going to die.
Think so?
Disney is never going to die. There's always going to be some entity of Disney that's going to be thriving just because of how when Walt Disney got into the game, and I'm sure all of patents, whether that be for rides at the theme parks that they've developed.
Yeah.
Costumes for characters, because I know Disney at one point, I'm from California. I don't know much about other out of state things, but Disney people, like the Disney cast members that had to get into Donald Duck and Mickey Mouse, they were the only ones that got the air condition, the fans, the cooling. No other spots had those.
Yeah.
So like, I feel like Disney in one way or another is never going to die fully. But
it could be like a nothing thing though, where it's like it could be a company.
How? But just royalties alone.
But it doesn't be, if it's not popular, it's not popular, you know. Like look at
that's what I'm saying. It's never going to. There's something that's always going to be from Disney that's popular within any age range, generation, the whole nine. Your mom loves a Disney movie. My mom loves a Disney movie. My mom will tell him if she meets him tomorrow, he cries during Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, but
and he might watch Beauty and the Beast because of it, because he heard about it.
I think look at Bud Light, bro.
Bud Light is a drink. It's not an entire aspect of your imagination. Think of how much growing up.
Also, Disneyland buys out other very popular little kid figures.
IPs.
When they hear about them, they'll just buy them out.
Dude,
I think it's
Walt Disney was one of the fucking business masterminds and all this shit, and then the lineage of him has just proved it.
He definitely was, but he's not somebody that I look up to. You know,
There's obvious, dude. All you gotta do is, watch Robot Chicken if you don't know about Walt Disney. You'll find the episode.
Tight as fuck. I just started. It's on Hulu.
It is, yeah. But there's a lot of weird shit about, like, if you look into the occult, random. We're going into a conspiracy theory here. Note. If you look into like the aspects of Disney, where Disneyland is, like energy shit like that, there's like all corresponding things that go along with it too.
Tell me about this. I have no idea about this. I'm sure there is, but
so the way it's all been described to me, because of like who Walt Disney was, the way he was,
and the times too.
Exactly, the times and shit.
It was like during World War II, right?
Yes, when he was when allegedly Walt Disney was not a Nazi supporter, but an idealist of it. He didn't support him necessarily, but appreciated their ideas, blah, 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 propaganda, blah, blah, blah. But Walt Disney seemed to have also been in the occult. There is a long-standing, quote unquote, whatever fuck you want to call it, his light never goes off in his office.
Yeah.
At Disneyland, and power can be cut to that area. The light will still come on randomly at night.
It's pretty cool.
So there's a very odd thing. I haven't seen anything in a book. I've talked to different people that are into the occult, that are like super into it, and they say that where Disneyland is placed is like a weird energy vortex for weird shit.
I believe it, I guess. Or
whether that be supernatural, whether that be like multidimensional, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, if you look at something like CERN, where they're doing the Hadron Collider, where they put CERN is directly a biblical location to where they think hell is, that they've traced back.
That's fucking crazy.
So like, you know what I mean?
Like hell has a physical location?
Yeah, where they believe hell is due to what the Bible says about geological placements. Where CERN and the Hadron Collider, where they're trying to open black holes, is technically where hell would be.
Where the gates of hell.
Yes.
Why are they fucking like this, dude?
Because it's awesome. Because it's awesome. It's awesome. We're tired.
Why are they fucking like this? There's always these little coincidences.
Oh yeah,
you know that's
how human mind.
I don't think it's a heaven or hell. Like I said, my belief is we are genetically placed here by aliens. But what I think is like certain people are touched. They know things that we don't know.
Empath.
Just like that place in Arizona. There's like some rich guy that made a theme park that's all occult like. That's in Arizona. You've heard of it before, right?
I don't know. Never heard of it, have you?
I have an idea of what you're talking about.
There's like a pyramid. You put your wish into a fucking thing.
I want to say House of 1,000 Corpses is loosely based upon this place.
I don't know. When I went to Vietnam, though, they had a
temple. That was a fucking good movie. That was a fucking good movie, bro.
Vietnam, they had a glass temple, a temple completely made of glass. Yeah. But underground, they had what they called the gateway to hell.
Yeah.
So it had like demons, and it told you all of the your sins that people had as a Buddhist created thing, you know, like lust and all that. But it had all these demons, and they truly believed that when you went down there, you would feel the energy of evil.
There's crazy places that exist.
So check this out, dude. So underground, you would go underground.
Mount Shasta, for instance.
Right, and so you'd see all this evil shit, and they tell you stuff why you shouldn't do it, whatever. The room on the way back to the top, right? You would go to where all of like these famous monks were that like passed away already, like these super famous monks, and it was like super peaceful and calm. The reason they did that was because they believed when you went into the gates of hell or talked about it, you had a certain energy now, you know? So they wanted to cleanse that energy, you know? So my point being is humans are just superstitious. It's like, so you would go to that thing with all the great...
You went to the Downey Insane Asylum? We were all there. We did... You weren't, I'm sorry. He wasn't there. Me and this motherfucker were there. We recorded. Yeah. We dead ass recorded the whole time. We were in the Hollydale mental... Cried. I cried like a bitch.
Straight up, we almost left him.
Hollydale Mental Institution. It's
Downey, isn't Downey?
No, it's called, what I'm saying, it's called the Hollydale Mental Institution.
One more time, but we're going to get into this. This is going to be a
That's
fucking
fine.
deep ass fucking
because this has already almost been 3 hours. Yeah. So
we can just turn it into 2 parts. Dude, only 10 people watch this shit anyway. Fuck it.
Wow, I don't know if anyone's going to listen to through almost 3 hour podcast, but yeah.
Bro, but yeah. Hollydale,
bro.
Hollydale.
That shit was tight. We got to revisit it, dude.
Let's go. I'm down.
I'm so down. It's probably still there.
No, it is. I just went 2 years ago. Me and Snaps.
Like you went inside or what?
Yeah, we snuck in. We were by the barracks.
Well, let's go, dude.
Tonight? No. Someone would have to drop us off there.
Maybe not tonight, dude.
No, yeah. But we'd have to plan it because someone would have to drop us off.
Feeling a little under the weather, dude. My throat
That's
hurts.
fine. You
guys might get sick. I'm sorry.
I don't get sick, dog. I do get sick. I'm lying.
Long night last night. I woke up coughing and I was like, fuck.
Since Tuesday. Tuesday I drove out to fucking Sac. Like I got to my boss is in Temecula at like 11:30. I was supposed to leave at 12. I didn't leave till 4. I got to like right outside of like by Historic Park where they had the Chainsmokers show I was at. And it was like another 90 minutes of traffic, knocked out. Woke up, got to fucking Sac at 5 a.m. And since then, it's been like 3 hours a night.
All right, let's hit the story.
Hollydale Insane Asylum.
Check this out.
It's in Downey.
It's going to be a good one.
It's right down the street from the Downey courthouse. And legitimately, we went there as kids, teenagers, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Yeah. We were not on drugs at all because...
I smoked some weed and drank, though.
No, we smoked resin, and that was it. No, we had no drink.
We got a video of Mark, remember crushing the beer can with his head?
A beer can. That's not enough. It was a Coors. That ain't shit. We were sober because my Connect was dry. We were trying to wait to re-up. Yeah. We go to Hollydale. He records everything.
On an actual camera.
Real like camera. Recording camera. Not a phone, not nothing. This was prior to all that. To get into this place, like one
satanic. Sorry,
dude. You come in, randomly gates are open. Like we were confused. Like there were chains and stuff. Like, oh, this should be locked up. It's not. Park in the cut. You have to get in through the second story. You walk up through like a causeway. Yeah. Get inside, hop in through a window, and you start walking. And there's just rooms left and right. Like I don't know what they were, whether they were patient rooms or fucking where you would hang out. The first room we go into, it's graffitied up, walking around, looking, flashlight, boom, fucking pentagram, possibly blood, possibly blood. We don't know. You can't verify.
There's like a dead cow.
There was. There were dead animals and shit all over this fucking place.
I saw something very similar in the hospital that's down Chapman, and there's the hospital, and then there's like the bike trail. You know, like the long bike trail that goes to Corona.
Oh, right there off of by the 55.
Wait, is it that hospital they tore down, or is he talking about that one or no?
No, I'm talking about a different one. It's in Orange, right by Orange. Remember the mansion I lived at?
Oh,
you would pass it there.
Gotcha. Going that trail eventually becomes forest. And
cool.
Going to that forest, there's fucking pentagrams and fucking
sacrifice shit, dude. Like, motherfuckers were doing shit at this place. So
somebody believed that much. That they actually did some fucked up.
They felt there were spirits there and things because I mean you can look up the history. It's not a cool place. A lot of people know about this spot too. If you're from Orange County, LA area, you know about Hollydale. My
Yeah.
homegirl found 500,000 rounds of ammunition in that place.
Yeah.
Because it was
That's
It's
a.
fucking expensive too.
Yeah,
Yes,
I know,
well,
right? It was
after-
back in the day though, so it was probably a lot cheaper.
I mean, probably, yeah. But after it was a mental institution, the military took it over for a little bit, and then they just up and left.
So anyways,
It's
continue
just
the
bad.
story.
So, yeah, what?
It's just a band.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's abandoned as
So
fuck.
basically,
Sneak in there?
it's in
It's
between
huge.
it's in between two counties, and no county wants to pay to take it down.
Yeah.
They keep fighting each other, trying to make each other pay to take it down. So it just exists.
It's a square mile of land. There's the like mental institution,
Yeah.
which is the concrete building. That's 3 different wings. It's giant. We didn't get
Yeah.
through like a quarter of it. And then there's barracks from when it was like this place was opened in the like 1898, like
I think
1898 or something.
It stopped operating in the 70s. They were doing shock therapy, I
Yes.
believe. Shock therapy had become illegal, but then the people that ran the hospital believed in it, so they kept doing it. So it got raided by the FBI.
That is
So it's
fucking
super
crazy,
creepy
dude.
because basically the FBI came and just bounced everyone out like that,
Yeah.
So there's like fucking stuff from when it was operating still, like
There was
the
a
computers,
bear.
all that shit, bro.
Yeah.
There was a bear on a bed with shackles.
I didn't see that.
I saw that when we first came around the corner, the second room to the left.
Like an actual bear, a teddy bear, or like,
Like a teddy bear,
Oh,
yeah.
I thought you meant a real bear. Yeah,
No,
I was like, what? I
I
didn't see
wish.
that.
That'd be
Bro,
sick.
I was like, what? Yeah, I remember that, though.
Electricity
Yeah.
living things is crazy because there are neuroscientists that believe that we're just electronic impulses. So
100%. I
Yes.
believe that. Yeah, I believe that.
Like EMF readers when
Like,
you're
what's-
looking at like ghost hunters and
Like,
shit
what is
like that.
consciousness? What's consciousness? Are you making yourself decided that, or is it a reaction of like chemicals and your atoms in your body that react to certain things that do that?
it's probably both, and then we fully develop a sense of self right now. In our 30s or what have you. It'd be impossible to have like an omnipresent self guiding choices or what have you. So it's probably both or something.
Well, when you look at an ant, though, do you think an ant's cognitive, like when it burrows tunnels and shit, or is it just reacting to the environment to survive?
No, ants are cognitive because they make bridges out of themselves.
But is that
That's
cognitive, or is that
fucking
just,
crazy.
They have to
That's
know to make
dope.
the bridge, right?
how do they know? That was the question.
It's
Or are you
because
saying
their
that-
genetic, the genetic plasm has 2 things in which their algorithm abides by: longevity and multiplication. So everything that's biological abides by that. But the thing about human life, or in animal life as well, that Machiavellianism exists even in animals.
Yes. House
Oh.
cats. Domesticated house cats.
Well, we agree like house cats are not self-aware, right? And neither are dogs.
But
They
who's
don't-
to say?
Well, there's studies that supposedly show that dogs don't have self-awareness. But my question is this: we think of consciousness as humans, like we have consciousness. It's like we're aware of ourselves, right? But it's like we only know what we know, and there could maybe like let's say aliens came down, right, and they
Yeah.
saw how we act. They could totally say that like these things are just reacting to their environment. They have no consciousness. They're
Yeah.
just fucking basing their life off survival. These
Yeah.
chemical reactions tell them what they think it feels good or feel bad.
Or
That's
we're a
it.
simulation. Like I think
That's my thought.
That's it.
Musk
That's
thinks
one of my
we're-
second thoughts.
Anyway, so let's
Simulation.
Like Elon Musk thinks that we're a fucking simulation. He's the fucking
The richest man on earth.
yeah, dude. What the fuck? What the actual fuck?
I could see it. Programs. How would we know?
I totally
This is the
believe what
kind
you're
of shit
saying.
that I would speak about when I was fucking 15, getting fucking stoned with my
Hey,
best
that's what this is,
friend.
baby. California
The
sober,
California
baby.
sober, baby. We're 32 and I'm 15 in my mind.
Don't watch this show, guys.
Watch this fucked up. And if you're a Japanese chick that hates the
Hit us
CCP,
up.
hit my fucking Insta. That's right here.
And we
He'll
have,
post
do a
it.
lot.
we have no
Last thing.
Japanese followers. I'm so down if we get one, bro.
Oh, what's your Instagram?
Oh, weeds too.
Oh, eats too. What's your Instagram?
Macaulay Hulkin.
And mine is always elevate. Follow us for more information. And thanks for having me as a guest, bro.
That's tight. He just took this shit over. Fucking,
just took it over, bro.
That's tight.
We didn't finish our Downey story.
Yeah. Say hi. Get by. What do you got?
California